Welcome, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bardic Inspiration. This is Dungeons and Dragons in Shakespearean Style. With me tonight are the Headless Marys. I'm your Dungeon Master, Adam Himbry. If you were here for the Magical Cane Band last week, they are back again next week for their last session of the year. And this, now, the last session of this year, 2021, for the Headless Marys. It is the 12th session that you have that we have streamed together, and
12
we are going to have
12 of the Headless Marys.
Yes, both the Magical Cane Band and the Headless Marys will have had 12 sessions once we finish for the year.
If you're at home and you just decide to binge all of them, let us know.
Do it, please do it. It's
they wouldn't know until they got to the last one.
Yeah, they might not unless they're following us on Twitter at Bardic_inspo, where such announcements get made. Hey, check it out. You have it. TikTok as well. Same handle. So this week and next week are our final 2 streams total for the year. Then we're going to take a bit of a break during December and January, which is Australian summer, when we do Australian summer things. And then we will come back next year after that. And we have some very exciting things to look forward to at that point that we can't quite talk about yet. But announcements on that are available on those previously mentioned channels.
Australian summer things are just when we play D&D in shorts.
Yes, and in person, because we can in Melbourne now.
Yeah, but you can't watch it. You can't watch it. So you go to Twitter.
You're not allowed.
No,
unless we start a Patreon and you give us $1,000. No,
yeah,
just one tier.
Sure.
Tonight with us, though, are the Headless Marys, who have had a hell of a last few hours. Really, this day, the 21st of Peaseblossom, it's been a heck of a day for the Headless Marys, and we are fast approaching the middle of the night. And I will turn it over to the cast to recap our last session. Perhaps even just the last 20 minutes of the last session is going to take most of that time. But as a bit of context, the Headless Marys have been making their way far south from their original home on Lake Lewin, on the island of Eridoc, where they cut their teeth defending the mystical Fey Forest of Argen, and were rewarded with a mystical ship that they keep with them that still bears the name of one of their first epic victories, the Headless Mary. They went all the way south past the capital city of Orst, and then collecting the baby dragon, Alda, as well as Alda's good friend and protector, Avery, they have been heading down the Lewin River for the city of Halefort by the sea, where they met with Vela Donvale, who has long been thought dead, but still lives, and is rightful heir to the thainship of Donvale. And the Headless Marys have been spending the last few sessions attempting to help install her securely in that position, but for the intervention of her uncle, Edmund, who is asserting his own rights to that position. And last session, we left off with trying to deal with some big news on that front. So if I can get 2 minutes on our timer, Mel, you ready for that?
Ready.
Then you can count us in, and the cast will recap last session.
Great. 100 seconds. 101 seconds.
120 seconds.
That's how our counting works. Starting now.
The Doppelganger got out.
Yeah, we don't know how. It was a mystery.
Yeah. No one was there.
Well, as of yet, a few of us don't know how, because the only 2 who went were Rav and Padraig.
Okay, that was quite loaded. That felt quite pointed because of 2 that went.
For the record, that's on them for letting us be the 2 who went.
We'll cop it. That's fair.
They'll never trust us to do anything.
Rav almost died, and Padraig saved his life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then Rav naturally
sent Peaseblossom off to Halefort to try and cut off Edwin by talking to some army dude or something. I can't quite remember who that was. Reese? Was it Reese? Did I make that name up?
River?
The steward of Halefort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The steward. So we sent Peaseblossom off. He's doing the messenger thing, and he should be back shortly. And then, we sent Padraig Ravelor down. And also, what did you find, Avery?
So Barwynn and Avery they went down a well and they found a cave with some gems. And there was a door inside the cave that would fit the gems, but the gems were stuck. So they were going to go and find baby Alda, see if she could help us open the door.
And the Doppelganger escaped Buckle's clutches, so he sentenced the entire kitchen staff to be imprisoned, and he's not done.
To distinguish who the Doppelganger was between myself and Rav, we got naked, and then that backfired because the Doppelganger knocked out Rav, or almost
And
killed
that's time. The
So much happened, and we didn't even get to the fact that Padraig had a conversation with the Queen of the Fairies.
Oh yeah,
Titania of the Autumn Court, and is in fact also a chicken. Currently, is wild shaped to a chicken because Rav kissed him out of gratitude.
Afraid of intimacy. That's why.
because Padraig is afraid of intimacy.
That has occurred. All of that happened in the late evening and early night hours of the 21st of Peaseblossom. It is fast approaching midnight, very dark outside. When you sent Peaseblossom off, it was probably in the neighborhood of 11 p.m. and he said it was going to take him about 40 minutes to get to Halefort. So you can presume it'll take roughly that time to get back, plus whatever time it takes him to do it, he was sent there to do. When we left off, Buckle was up in arms outside. Padraig and Rav were in the dungeons area, Padraig in chicken form. The guards are running helter-skelter all over the place, trying to figure out what has transpired and listening to Buckle's shouted orders, but also within the main office area. You have Vela with, at one point at least, Caliban, Barwynn, and Avery, as well as Bertram and Myra, discussing what it is they're meant to do. Vela, Bertram, and Myra would be very quickly making preparations, writing up edicts and writs, sorting out letters to be sent to prepare for, based on Peaseblossom's report, or their best efforts, what they are needing to do first thing in the morning.
We also did hear, I think, from the Doppelganger. I found a note. I found a note that said something was already in the works. So I think I came back into Lady Vela's thing and said, we're going to be careful right now.
Yes, you found a letter that in invisible ink said something to the effect of, "Dear Father," or that was written in regular ink, and then in invisible ink it said something to the effect of, "It is done. It is done. By the toll of midnight, it is done." Before the letter burst into flames from a very well-timed nat one.
Is invisible ink like, when you write with a candle, with the wax of a candle, and then you just put like watercolored paints over the top of it?
There are many ways to create invisible ink.
I heard you can dip a paintbrush in urine and then.
And then you've got
That's how Avery does it anyway.
Or isn't the other one like lemon juice? You write it in lemon juice and then you
I did when I was in spy school.
Yeah.
So which one did
oranges.
Doppelganger use? Or which one did how did they write this one?
It's hard to say, given that it has charred and
Hey,
burnt.
can I ask a question, Adam?
Sure.
Great.
You got a second one?
I did. I can't remember what it was.
Ryan was wondering which way of invisible ink they used.
Hard to say. Had a pretty rough time with that investigation check.
What time is it again?
It is so basically you're usually running off vague time signifiers because timepieces themselves extremely uncommon. There is, however, one clock in this house, and that is saying something. The clocks are extremely valuable and quite rare, but there is one in the sort of downstairs foyer area of Donvale Manor, and it is 11:40
I got 20 minutes. Oh my god.
This is fine. We still have enough time to kill Botrum and then get on with the other tasks.
Hey, we're not even in the same room at the moment.
It's true. Rav is down in the dungeon, so we are a party split at the moment. Now, Pedro, you mentioned that Buckle was not done, and in truth, the action really was on you when we left off last time. So I think that is probably where it makes most sense for us to pick up. Tell us about what Buckle is doing.
Buckle was on the ground. As he failed to catch the doppelganger. He's like on his stomach. He gets up, dusts himself off, and just screams, "All kitchen staff! All..." I thought I did that. So...
Sorry.
Buckle screams, "All kitchen staff to the dungeons immediately!"
They look terrified, extremely surprised, and they immediately walk towards the dungeons.
Thank you. Form an orderly line.
They do, and they are escorted in by the other guards that you have there. And as that happens, Rav and Chicken Form Padraig, you can see guards coming in towards the dungeons, as well as a bunch of very flustered-looking people wearing aprons and cook's clothes, being sort of ushered in to where you are.
Buckle sees Ravelor and runs up to him and says, "Is it you? Art thou the doppelganger?"
Nay, Buckle, I am not, for if I were, why would I be here in a jail cell?
But it surely escaped. It ran away from me.
Indeed.
And it looked like you.
Indeed, 'tis how a doppelganger works, I assume.
How did it escape?
Well, for that, thou wouldst need to ask Padraig, for he was staring off into the distance, drinking something from his pouch, and I care not to tell the rest.
The reason I was able to deduce that the doppelganger was not you was because it traveled alone without Padraig, as you do now.
Hey, Padraig is here.
Oh, okay.
He's in a rather foul form, if thou canst believe it.
Can see. Well, very well. We must convene and find this thing. It is still roaming the manor grounds, I presume.
Canst
Or
thou
is inside.
open the cell and give me mine clothing?
The cell door is open, Rav. So you haven't been locked. You haven't been locked in. I didn't make that necessarily clear, but everything happened very quickly.
Buckle, let me out!
I'm escorting the kitchen staff into the very cell that Rav is in. So the door is open.
Yeah.
Let me out, Buckle! Oh, I see. Come along, Padraig. Rav scoops up Padraig. But like chicken style, like I grab him by the feet and I hold him upside down.
John Mark.
Oh, that's gonna
Oh,
be
no.
bills.
Where did you all go? Oh, yes.
All right. So, Buckle, what's your plan with these folks in the cell? I'm assuming if Rav and Padraig gone, are you locking them in?
I lock them in, and I say, "For all but one of you, this must be quite alarming. And for that, I do apologize, but there is an imposter either among you or among the rest of everyone else up in the manor, and this is the swiftest possible course into finding them and apprehending them. So if you will excuse me, and I walk out."
All right, they are locked up in there. That's where they are. So you and Rav and Chicken Padraig, upside down, can leave the dungeon area. Where are you headed?
To reconvene with
Going back to the office?
Yeah. And
Okay.
Vela should know.
Rav,
He's my boss.
Mm-hmm.
Rav whispers to Chicken Padraig, Buckle is in quite a commanding alpha mood, so I shall follow his lead.
I go with them because Rav's still carrying me.
Yeah, I slam Vela's office door open.
Okay. Then those of you who are in that office area will hear the loud jump, and Vela certainly jumps a bit as Buckle comes storming in.
Yes,
Sorry.
No. Is Rav dressed?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
Um,
know this.
Yeah, he's
Rav,
naked, right?
Rav does, or at the very least, doesn't have his top. You might have your normal like trousers or under things. I don't know what you kept on.
No, but I think he's like carrying his clothes under his arm, and as they all recap in this room, he's gonna slowly get dressed.
Yeah.
Can I ask if you're carrying Padraig's clothes as well?
I am not.
Padraig, you don't lose your clothes when you wild shape. Oh, you took yours off though, didn't you?
He's naked.
Yeah. If you were totally naked, then you're totally naked when you come out of that chicken form. But if you, I assumed you were just taking your tops off.
Oh, Adam. What a
Well, or the fool eye.
What?
Buckle furiously explains the doppelganger has escaped to Barwynn and Avery and Caliban, and is very accusatory towards Ravelor and Padraig.
My beak just flies open. But,
Well, we will fill that in about the gems at another point. This is more pressing.
Yes, quite.
It's very pressing, so mayhaps now is not the time, but I would like to remind everyone that thou didst decide Padraig and I would be the ones to interview the doppelganger.
Let us not assign blame now, Ravelor. Indeed, let us do it later. How can we help thou Buckle in figuring out who the doppelganger is?
I do not know how to. I think identifying the creature is the first step, but I do not know how to do that.
we know
Rather than
he's
stripping
wearing,
everyone in the castle naked, but no, let's not do that.
we know he's wearing a magical item. That's how we did find him the first time.
True. Does the chef's uniform have a belt?
Oh, does it? Would I have noticed that?
Bertram chimes in. I mean, a belt is sort of a more personal choice. In terms of uniform, it's rather simple. If someone needs one, they'll wear one. But I believe you're referring to a belt that allows one to magically disguise themselves, which would be neither here nor there whether there's an actual appearance of a belt on a person. It would obscure itself. Now, of course, it is as you say, though. If the belt is magical or any other such item, there are spells such as detect magic, which would allow you to see them.
If we were to just pat someone down, will we feel that the material's different?
Quite, yes. In fact, if you were to closely investigate anyone, and you have sufficient time and focus, you would be able to tell the illusory nature of the clothing.
Caliban's already walking out down to the dungeon.
Okay.
Let us not lose sight of any of us so that we can be sure that we are not the doppelganger.
And as a point of order as well, Caliban, you must have expressed that in several different voices.
Yeah, that did.
Okay.
And a lot of miming.
Peaseblosom's absence will make this interesting for Caliban.
Rav sets the chicken down on its feet.
Thank you. Oh my god, thank you.
I stick my head back in and say, Buckle.
I'm following. Okay.
Yeah, very.
Lady Baylor and Bertram, perhaps thou shouldst, and Myra, accompany us as well, just in case.
Very well. I do think I'm
Let's go out
confident in
short.
our abilities, but also perhaps it is best, especially if Lady Baylor is not vulnerable at this point in time. They'll accompany you.
Adam,
Yes.
can I cast spells as a chicken?
Sure cannot. You can keep concentration on a spell that you cast before you wild shape. But since you haven't done that,
You can also turn back when you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can turn back from a chicken anytime you want.
You don't know me.
Rav whispers to the chicken, Padraig, I wish not to pry thee from thy feathered form before thou art ready, but mayhaps I could remind thee, nay, tis too presumptuous. Shouldn't ask for it. Well, I do currently only have 16 hit points. Mayhaps if thou didst return to thy normal form, thou could beef me up a bit?
and then like Padraig starts flapping towards the dungeon again.
He's gonna fly. You can do that for about 6 seconds at a time, Padraig, for about 15 feet, and then you gotta flutter down.
Oh yeah, no, I think like yeah, correct. But like he's heading to the thing.
Avery's just staring at Rav with a bright red face in the corner.
When you exit the house, you can see that the place is in pandemonium. There are people shouting every which way. Obviously, the cook staff has been ushered away, but there are soldiers, both veterans and newly minted, moving with various degrees of certainty from place to place. Marcus and Therion, you can hear their voices, one to the front, and Therion coming around the side is sending people up to the walls around one side. You can hear them saying, "Let no one enter or leave. The gate does not open. Watch for climbers." And then archers this side. They'll kind of nod to you as you're going by and give a quick salute, Buckle. This is a lockdown. We are locking the place down.
Hashtag trigger.
Yeah, it's just the guards open the door for you all to come in, especially seeing that Lady Vela is with you. Everyone sort of like, stands even taller to attention. You have a cell filled with cook staff. There are 8 people in this cell, so it's quite cramped. None of them are shackled to the wall or anything, but you can hear their worried sounds and their sudden hush as you're kind of clanking through the door. What would you like to do?
Can I investigate each one in turn?
You may do so. Make an investigation check.
Is Bertram with us?
Bertram is.
Are we all in the cell? Is this what we're saying? We're all...
You're in the dungeon, so there are multiple cells around. You're kind of in the hallway.
Okay, right.
Where you just were.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, 22. Caliban, investigation is your thing. You come to the relatively quick conclusion, especially if the guards are gonna like stand near the door and let you come in and actually pat them down and stuff like that. All 8 of the people in this room seem to be actually wearing the clothes that they're wearing. There doesn't seem to be any kind of transparent illusion or anything like that.
Back to the drawing board.
Padraig,
as my professor of art did say when I was learning.
Back when Caliban was at uni.
Yeah. I did a drawing class when I
For the poetry.
An elective.
the drawing board. Yes, sir.
Padraig goes to his bag and grabs a potion of greater healing. Puts
How
it in
does
his
he grab it?
Puts it in his beak. And is like dragging it back to Ravelor.
Yeah, just across the ground behind this chicken.
This is the most efficient way to get things done, that's for sure.
Definitely. Rav, do you take that potion?
Yes, I thank thee, Padraig, and thou art most kind, but I do need to remind thee that thou couldst be a human now if thou wanted. I promise not to kiss thee again in gratitude or any other reason.
How many? Actually, John Mark, you can roll the hit points that the potion of greater healing would give, and Rav can heal that much. So it should say it on the item description. How many dice?
Is 4d4 plus 4.
4s.
44?
4d4
plus 4. That's 48.
If you rolled 40 of them, maybe I'd be back to my normal hit point.
There you go. Just double
That's 17 hit points for you, Padraig, for a Revelor. When you down the
Doubled
hatch.
my hit points, thanks.
Yeah, every little bit
Anyone
helps.
have like locate person or any other spell like that? That would be
I do.
great. Really?
I don't think so. Let me.
I have it not prepared today.
Yeah. Oh.
It's niche, but when you need it, you really need it.
Oh, I do have sending. Shouldst I send a message to the Doppelganger?
Well,
We couldn't hurt.
You would know it intimately by this stage.
Padraig,
Or at least it knows you.
Padraig returns back to form. I was planning on just going through the manor as a chicken because it doesn't know that I'm a chicken. But
It
Subterfuge.
does. Oh no, it doesn't. No.
I'm back. So when I don't think it's suspected chicken. Anyway, I'm back. Padraig's back, puts his clothes on, and then casts locate object.
What object would you like to locate, Padraig?
The bell.
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Locate object works if an object is within 1,000 feet of you, unless I'm much mistaken.
That's right.
All right. So tell me, what does it look like when Padraig casts locate
I'm
object?
glad you asked. until it oh my god, I did sense it.
And Padraig, you do.
Yeah, of course.
As you finish your resounding aerial chorus, which everyone in the cook's outfits are just like staring at this mostly naked Furbolg.
Oh yeah.
who's-
Oh, now my AC's back up.
Yes, who's just been dressing, was a chicken. No explanations offered here, by the way. It says was a chicken, became a big Furbolg, got dressed, and then began doing magic. So, Padraig, I don't know if you've used locate object before in this game.
Yeah, we have.
You? You have.
Yeah, we
You-
used it
okay.
on the axe. But Headless
Or
Marys?
the staff.
The staff. Sorry, the
Yeah, I
staff.
can't remember when you got this spell. Yes, okay. Then much like last time, you feel your senses become deeply attuned to the natural world. A sudden awareness of, for a moment, a sublime amount of trees and vines and flowers and blooms and living, breathing things. And then all of that fades as quickly as it comes and resolved in your mind's eye in a kind of glowing silhouette of this object, that belt which you have held in your hands, which contained, those vials, and which has the magical properties that you've witnessed. And then you feel a pull in your gut from behind your navel, back towards the house.
It's in your belly button.
Smelly, and it smells. And excuse me.
I'm going to cast invisibility, by the way.
Right, and that's good for 1 hour, I believe, if you maintain concentration, or until you attack or cast a spell.
I'm gonna pull my rapier out very loudly.
Shing.
Let's go.
Okay, Padraig, you can follow the pull that is leading you, if you like, and it is definitely taking you towards the house. All of you are together, as well as with Bertram and Vela and Myra. So, tell me what your plan of action is for following Padraig. Obviously, Caliban is invisible. Are any of the rest of you making preparations or making plans for how you're going to approach this once you get to the source?
You go, Rob.
I was just gonna say, Raph's gonna lay real low because he's still, he's only got about 30-something hit points. He's gonna be hanging towards the back. He's gonna be playing it cool. He's gonna be laying real low.
How many hit points do you have? Like, what's your max?
60?
Wow, that's high.
59.
Expected. Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I have really low hit points. I only have 51.
Yeah, but you're
they're tied to your
underclassed.
concentration modifier. Depending on what that is.
Buckle with his 92 HP and 21 AC wants to
Whoa!
fight.
Yeah, I've got 70. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I might. What I'm also doing is I'm going to be like taking out some rope and kind of making a lasso type thing situation.
All right. Duly noted, Cowpoke.
And I
Yeah.
no, never mind.
What were you going to say, Buckle?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Traveler, how's that feeling?
Good. I feel much enlightened after my brush with death. In fact, I think I saw my father. Dost thou have time to hear the story now? 'Tis quite a long one. Sit down.
Yeah, drink this, and I throw another potion of healing.
Oh, that's
Just
So you
normal
can-
healing this time.
Yeah, so you can roll the dice for that as well, John Mark. That is seven more hit points for you, Raph.
every hit point helps.
Now, Bertram is going to stay basically right at Lady Vela's side, and Myra is looking scared and not really sure what to do, and sort of torn about where to go or how to be.
Buckle
yes.
tells Myra, Myra, I would instruct yourself and Bertram and Lady Vela to stay here, and if anyone comes down here, do not leave. Or do not let them leave.
You want them to stay in the dungeons?
Mm-hmm. Avery disagrees.
That sounds
Oh,
good.
okay.
Oh no, I was just wondering if we're going into battle, do we want them with us? But
Nah, we'll be fine. We've killed a vampire. We just
Yeah.
doppelganger.
I'm worried about bringing too many people, because I thought about maybe bringing some guards along. But what if they doppelgang into the guards?
Yeah, right.
Let's go and kill this dude.
Yeah.
Padraig starts moving towards the pool.
Okay. Padraig, when you leave the dungeons, leaving Vela and Bertram and Myra down there with all the rather surprised-looking cook staff and some guards as well, you feel the pull coming strongly from inside the house in front of you. So you can also tell more or less, based on the angle and everything, that it is probably upstairs at the moment. So you are moving your way towards the entrance hallway, or the back hallway, I should say, that takes you through the great dining room into the opening front foyer. And the closer you get down there, the more strong the pull is getting. It does not seem that the object is moving. You get down by the office where you were before, and it feels to you, Padraig, like the item is directly above you, upstairs.
He thinks it's upstairs. He thinks it's directly above us.
Buckle goes upstairs.
All right, the rest of you
I'm
follow.
following Buckle. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to kind of maybe not go in straight away.
Okay.
I remember last game I used my glamour-studded armor to look like Vela, so I still look like her. I'm going in.
That's right, you did
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Okay, and you could have dropped it and done it again at any point, because it's just, I believe it's a bonus action to activate it.
Yes.
Shall we concoct a plan? What's our plan of action?
Murder.
If we have not run, perhaps it's time sensitive. We should perhaps just interrupt.
All right.
All right. You go around the stairs, which has two bends in it, two 90-degree kind of angular bends. And as you come up to the top, you can see that there's a hallway full of doors to bedrooms, some of which are yours. But the pull of the object is coming from just in front of Lady Vela's room. There are two guards who are standing there in front of the room, sort of at their posts, as it were. And Buckle, you would know that part of the rotation for internal guard shifts is to sort of stay near the bedrooms and to kind of walk these halls. Padraig, the belt is calling to you from one of those guards.
From one of the guards.
Mm-hmm.
Sensational. Do I know which guard it is? I obviously know which guard it is.
Yes, I mean they're pretty close to each other, but you can tell the direction to the item using the spell, which I believe lasts for 10 minutes. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you're well within that time range, I would say. You are able to determine which one it is.
Does thou know both these guards?
Yes,
You know both of them?
indeed. I know their names.
Right.
Chris and Cross.
Chris and Cross.
Yeah.
So it
One's
is.
a first name, one's a surname.
You
Yeah.
waited so long to just say cross.
I think it was worth it.
Yeah.
And there they are, crisscross in front on either side of Lady Vela's door, and they both straighten up, seeing you both come, and they salute to you, Captain Buckle, and then they also bow low to Lady Vela, aka Avery, in disguise. And
When
stand paying attention either
he
side.
bows, that's when I'm gonna try and lasso him. You know,
Okay. Very interesting. So, with a rope, I'm going to say this isn't like a weapon attack, but I will say,
it's not a bit of a sleight of hand, right?
I will
Dexterity,
say
right?
make a basic dexterity check. So D20 plus your dexterity mod.
Okay.
Are you lassoing Chris or Cross?
Caliban doesn't know which one. Oh, what a day! And that one for a 6.
Oh.
And
Well, it doesn't
now-
count as an attack, though, right?
Oh.
Matt Day.
I would say.
Does it count as an attack? I'm a
I
natural
think
one.
this is gonna break invisibility. Otherwise, you've got a rope that was invisible that becomes visible and is floating in midair. I feel like the intent of the attack breaking invisibility is served in this
Fair enough.
instance.
Once-
Caliban will become visible, flinging this rope, which sails directly over the head of the intended target and thuds into the neck and face area of the other. So it sails past Cross and hits Chris in the face. And he's like, "What? What?" And they're both like, "Whoa, what is this?"
And stab the dude.
Okay, so you've done one thing here, Caliban, by throwing the rope, and then so if you're going to draw your rapier as that's happening, we're going to roll for initiative.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also. Can you tell me which one is wearing the belt? Because I don't even know.
Is it Cross?
Cross or Chris? I would know.
You would know that it is Cross who Caliban missed, and not Chris,
Okay, cross.
who got hit with the rope.
Are we rolling for initiative?
You are rolling for initiative.
Okay, cool.
I'm assuming all of you are going to want to take actions now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a D20 queued up for a while because I thought I was going to stab him.
14 for Buckle.
Oh.
5 for Padraig. 17 for Avery.
+9 initiative, Avery.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's probably 16 for Caliban.
I always forget to add initiative.
You have the alert feat, don't you, Avery? That's why you're +9.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always forget about that. 9 for Barwynn.
Is Rab not with
Okay.
us?
No, I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what my plus initiative.
It'll be right
Just
near the
your
top of your character sheet.
Next.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
8 for
Back
Rab.
of the back.
Oh yeah, you love being.
I never want to go first. Like, who makes the first move? You gotta hang
Okay,
around.
so let me just slip us
Cross
into
probably
something
rolled it
a little bit more
20
comfortable
or
here.
something.
Now, I'm going to be frank. I don't have a map for this particular hallway,
Mhm.
so we are going to do this theater of the mind, right? So you
Yeah,
also,
perfect.
for reference, you're in a tight space. So if the distance and sort of closeness of things becomes a factor, I'll explain. But to give you a quick lay of the land, there is a hallway in front of you that you have gone down, and that the corner of that hallway is where Lady Vela's room is at a bend. So the two guards are sort of standing in front of that room at the bend in the hallway. So they have in front of them another direction of the hallway, and all of you have come up from one part of that L. If that makes sense. So you sort of have them cornered, but they do have a way out to one direction down that hallway. Okay. However, at the top of our initiative order, you can see that because this rope has come out of nowhere and Caliban is like busy starting to draw his rapier, the two of them are both looking wide-eyed and afraid and like looking very like taken off guard, and I'm like every appearance not sure what to do. There you go.
Very good. Very good.
But Avery is at the top of our initiative order at 17. So what would you like to do, Avery, seeing what you see now?
Do I know which one's the doppelganger and which one isn't? Yeah.
All you know is that Caliban appeared throwing a rope at one who Caliban missed, and Caliban is bearing down towards one of them. You'd also be able, with your passive perception, I think, to notice that Padraig is staring hard at one of them, the slightly closer one to you.
Okay, I'm gonna try shoot that one in the head with my arrow.
Okay, you can do that. Make your attack roll.
Okay, so I'm gonna use. I have advantage.
You're going to stay still.
So smug too.
Yeah. If you use steady aim, that is a bonus action, and you, as long as you don't move, then you have advantage on the shot.
Okay, and so because I have advantage, I have elven accuracy.
Yes, you do.
I love it.
How many
Avery
weeks
just
did you
tried to
like
miss the
me say
shot. It's gonna be very funny if it happens
This is
as
what
a
it is
one.
highest.
As a thing. Okay,
Okay,
11
so
plus
19.
8 is a 19, which is going to be a hit. You can roll that damage.
Cool. Okay, 1d8 plus 5.
And you did have advantage on the attack roll, which you get sneak attack damage, unless I'm much mistaken.
Yeah, I do. So I go a 1d8. I have my flow chart here. 1 d8 plus 5, and then 4d6.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
24 points of damage. Not bad. Okay. Avery, you loose your shot, taking your time for a moment there, but still quick on the draw, and your aim is true. You hit this guard directly in a gap between the apparent armor, and in fact, you actually notice that the arrow appears to go straight through a piece of armor where it really should not be doing that. It's because the armor itself, not really there. But you do a heck of a lot of damage. Yes, Rav?
Nope. It was a dumb joke about shoddy workmanship.
please tell us.
So as far as this creature knows, Lady Bela has just pulled out a bow and shot the hell out of him. Okay, that is Avery's turn, unless you are moving somewhere. Actually, you can't move because steady aim. So that will take us to Caliban, followed by Buckle, and then Barwynn. So Caliban, I think I might have some idea of what you're doing.
I might stab him. Am I right next to him then?
You can move to get next to him. So you were a bit away when you threw the lasso, I presume.
Yeah. So you wouldn't say I would have a bandit. I could take steady aim too, couldn't I?
If you didn't move, yes. As long as you stay put and don't position yourself anywhere afterwards. You and Avery are basically just posting up. Pop.
All right. Then I'll do that so I can get sneak attack.
Okay.
I don't have elven accuracy.
Just Kenku accuracy.
All
21 would be a hit, but you may as well see if you crit.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry.
It makes a rather large difference on sneak attack.
It does, yeah. What was I doing? Oh yeah.
Close.
I think Rat Day hates me.
This is a great time to shout out Matt Day, creator of Rollcast, our resident technomancer. Thanks so much to him. This was an attack with advantage, so your nat 1 is not applying. You do hit, which means you can roll your damage.
Yeah. 21.
Mixed bag. 21.
Wow, that's a
Wowie.
powerful rapier.
No, that was a bow.
Oh, that was
Yeah, yeah, didn't end up going rapier. Both of you, quick on the draw. Again, you fire. You realize as well, I'm sure, looking at Avery's what happened from her shot. You don't have to worry about chinks in the armor. You don't have to aim for the neck or for the armpit or anything like that. You just center mass, boom, straight through. And what should be chainmail just gives way like air. But blood does spurt forth from both of these wounds, not leaving stains on the supposed armor as well. And the creature is the guard, in this case, Cross, is staggering forward, putting a hand against the wall and heaving, eyes widening, and then filling with rage as well. Looks rough. Very rough.
What is Chris doing this whole time?
Well, the way this works is that you all initiated the sort of the combat move in a situation in which these two were not girding up to fight. So initiative determined once the aggression was made who was going to get the first move. Y'all rolled well, or at least these two or three did. I should say 2 or 3 because next up is Buckle.
I'm gonna do a disarming attack, which it's a weapon. I hit him with my weapon, and I spend a superiority die to add it to the damage, and I disarm the target if it fails a strength saving throw, which means I force it to drop an item of my choice that it's holding.
I will say, Buckle, you can see clearly, like, they haven't had a chance to do anything yet. Like, they are both like sort of like looking left, like figuring out what to do. At this point, you can see that at least the person who's taken 2 arrows is putting a hand down to their side, but they haven't drawn their weapons yet to do something. So you can revise that Battle Master maneuver choice if you want to reflect that situation, as you would see.
I just want to try to stab him while kind of like prizing the belt off him, but then maybe that's not possible.
Yeah, that's different. So if you wanted to, so there's 2 choices you could have if that's what you're going for. You can try to do a called shot and slash the belt off, which will increase the difficulty of getting the hit, because that's a pretty nifty bit of sword work to do something like that. It's very Zorro. But you could also use an action to try to manually do it with your hands, and it would be like more like a sort of like a grapple test, basically, to like see if you can get your hands on the clasp of the belt and yank it off of him.
Yeah, I'll just stab him in the chest.
Okay. Yeah, you can make your attack roll. This will be a regular roll.
Oh, so close.
Oh, 15. 15 is enough.
Oh, okay, great.
Buckle, roll your damage.
What is damage?
Not actually wearing armor, after all.
Is
Just
damage.
It's 5 damage.
5 points of damage.
Then I've got my second hit,
Dude.
which is a fail, probably.
10 does not do it.
Okay.
Okay, but you are now right up close and engaged with this.
And as I do that second failed hit, I shout to Chris, "Chris, thou must flee from this demon!"
All right, you say that to Chris, who's staring at you wide-eyed. Okay, that is Buckle. And then next up in our order, Barwynn, what is your dexterity modifier?
+2.
+2. Okay, thank you. In that case, Buckle, you are right next to Cross, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is going to happen is Cross, who is looking terrible, like terrible, on the edge here, is going to reach down to his belt and produce something that was not visible before. A small vial in a kind of roundish glass. Looking at you, is going to say, "Sleep tight," and then throw it down at the ground
Hang
between
on.
your legs. Yeah.
Oh, wait. if a target attacks someone other than me within 5 feet, I can use my reaction to impose disadvantage on that.
So this is not an attack against anyone. They
Hey,
are
if throwing a rope at someone's an attack.
If he was throwing it at Buckle, I would say it
No,
counts.
someone other than me.
Yes, but this is actually
Right.
getting thrown at the ground between your legs with the intent for it to smash. Yeah. So he's throwing that glass on the ground. I would say if he were invisible, it's the sort of thing that might break invisibility. But he's not invisible. So, Buckle, I am going to need you to make a save for me. Please make a Constitution saving throw.
Surely we've had 2 nat 1s that day.
Yeah.
2 nat 1s already. Surely
enough. Yeah.
it's going to be a good one. By probability.
Oh, 14.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
fuck.
Buckle. Your con save is so good, but it is not quite good enough in this case. Buckle, your limbs begin to feel heavy. Your
No.
eyelids begin to droop. Your vision begins to blacken from the sides until you have a tunnel vision of just this creature's face.
I say,
Cross,
oh,
not
son of
cross.
a, and we'll pass out.
Buckle just drops to the ground. You are poisoned and you are unconscious.
Oh.
So that is the situation at the moment. You haven't lost your hit points, but you
Yeah.
are unconscious. So Buckle, to the rest of you, you just see this magnificently armored figure of Buckle stab, miss, and just drop to the ground in front of this creature.
Question.
Yes,
Is that not the same as prone? Buckle is unconscious but not prone, right?
Buckle is prone because he's on the ground. So lots of conditions apply to Buckle right now. So that's Buckle is on the ground, unconscious, and where the glass broke on the ground, fumes of some kind of white vapor sort of fill the space around him before dissipating quickly into the air. And as that is happening, the 2 guards, both Chris and Cross, dash. They bolt down the other hallway, and you hear the sound of breaking glass. Now, that's going to take us to Barwynn, followed by Rav.
Cast Guiding Bolt. I don't have to see them to use it.
Okay.
Get him.
I'm going to cast it on Cross.
Okay. So I thought that this might come up.
Yeah.
I educated myself a little bit on the
No.
crazy spell that is Guiding Bolt. Now, you are able to make this attack.
Yeah.
But the rules of ranged spell attacks, which are not totally spelled out in every spell that is a ranged spell attack, and many spells do say on a creature you can see within range, etc. Guiding Bolt does not. However, this is still a ranged spell attack, and the person is within range. There is no obstacles between you necessarily and them, but you cannot see them. So as far as directing it, you are going to have an issue with this. You can make the attack; it is just with disadvantage. You
Yeah.
can do so.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Okay. And you're targeting Cross.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to cast it at 2nd level.
Actually, I will say, I because we are not on a map, it's easy for me to forget. If you want to use your movement, you can run to that intersection, and you can see straight shot down the line.
Absolutely do that.
I would say, especially since Cross was the one who used his action to break that, he's not going as quickly. Chris dashed, so had double movement basically, and you can see as you're rounding that corner, Chris just hurtling through the window, full speed, and flying out. And Cross is like at the sill, like getting ready to jump over. So that actually negates the disadvantage. You can just make the normal attack.
Okay. Oh,
Thought I was going to do it.
Yeah, me
That'd be it. 23 is going to be a hit. Roll your damage.
okay.
Ooh, that's a good roll.
It is 20 points of radiant
Wow.
damage.
You've got to
Barwynn,
be done.
how do you want to do this?
Yes!
Barwynn will like touch the pendant on her amulet, and she will like cast it out from her hand, and she's really angry. So the light, as it kind of goes over his body, is going to like singe the skin on his face and like blacken and burn it, and his Yeah, it's just gonna burn his skin.
Yeah, metal from Barwynn. That happens, and this heavenly, radiant light just scorches this creature, and then drops to the ground. Now, those of you who have been watching this, you now have seen the illusion fracture on this thing. And the way that this illusion magic works is that when the illusion is challenged by something physically, it becomes easier to see through it. So all of you at this point have seen that this chainmail armor and the sigils and all that stuff have been kind of flickery in and out. And underneath it was the body of Cross. But now that the creature has fallen, the creature down on the ground is not Cross anymore. Bearing many wounds from rapier blades and arrows, and now this radiant energy. The creature is gray from head to toe, wearing a very baggy shirt and a very loose-fitting kind of pants as well that are just tied with a kind of rope inserted in the fabric. Clothing that's clearly designed to be versatile and fit a wide variety of shapes. Coming closer, it's unlikely that any of you have ever seen a creature who looks like this. It is dark gray with kind of long, distended almost fingers that end in claws. The dark gray skin all over looks extremely muscular, like sinewy, not like built outward big, but like wiry and extremely strong. And it also looks almost as though there is not, it's like there isn't skin and it's just the musculature that you're looking at. Now, obviously that's not the case because there'd be blood everywhere and stuff like that, and that's not what it is, but it gives that appearance. You can see the vascular structures and the veins and stuff with extreme relief all over. The creature is bald with sharply pointed ears, and the eyes, which are now glazing in death, are yellow with no irises or pupils. And there it lays on the ground, the window smashed, as you can hear sounds of pandemonium from outside. Those of you with high passives, which is actually many of you, Barwynn, Avery, Caliban for sure, and I think the rest of you will probably catch on pretty quickly as well. There are Padraig, yeah, there are shouts coming from outside, and you can hear somebody shouting, "Fire!" But the creature lies before you dead. So, Headless Marys, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna go out.
Okay, Caliban, you can easily do that, and when Caliban removes the belt, that still flickering kind of illusion fades. And Caliban, you are holding it. And
can I also look out the window? Can I see any flames or anything?
Okay, make a perception check. What are the rest of you doing?
I want to do the same thing.
Rav.
Buckle it.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Buckle.
Buckle is snoring on the floor. Right.
That's right, Buckle is sound asleep.
Rav didn't get to do an initiative, and he's pissed about it, so he runs over and kicks the doppelganger.
Okay, that happens. Caliban, you have eyes like a hawk over there.
What was it? Was that perception?
Yes.
My eyes.
Rav runs. Yeah. Rav comes over and kicks the crap out of this corpse.
Do I get to roll for the kick?
You don't need to. The body is just lying there on the ground. You kick
But what
it.
if I want to? I'm gonna do it.
Go for gold.
Hey.
Pretty
kicked it
good.
so hard.
Pretty good. I would have given you advantage, but yep, no need. You kick it, and you hear, because there's no resistance. Like there's a little bit of a crunch. Like you got one of the lower ribs with your boot.
Then he
Pretty
goes and
disquieting.
checks on Padraig.
Can I? Is it possible for me to try and shoot Chris?
Okay, so Caliban and Padraig are both at the window. You're looking out there. Caliban, with your 27, I will say, you do catch a couple of things. Padraig, you too would see that there is fire coming from your angle. If you're looking and like leaning back a little bit and looking out at an angle, you can see that there's a fire coming from what appears to be the kind of barracks armory area. and you can hear, because the window's been broken, you can hear people shouting back and forth and moving. The sounds of soldiers rising the alarm. You can see a few people running with buckets, and some with like blankets and things like that. Padraig looking quickly back and forth, trying to decide, perhaps with your roguish instincts, if I had jumped out this window, where would I go? You immediately find the sort of shadowed alcoves along the building itself, letting your eyes track to a place where the house is closest to the wall. And you see a figure just for a moment before it fades into shadow, sprinting, wearing a soldier's uniform, but clearly running away from the action at this point, towards the shadows, towards that wall.
All right. Well, then Padraig's gonna, like, how far away is it?
Is what?
The person running?
You have not seen it yet, but if Caliban points out, I would say
Padraig. Sorry.
no. Padraig sees the fire and all the stuff going on for sure with your 14, but Caliban, you would spot this person sprinting towards the wall.
Get him.
So did we get the sense that he was also a bad dude? I missed
I
that.
just got the sense he was scared.
No, I think
Well,
he's dodgy.
The fact that he jumped out of the window.
Yeah.
How high are we up?
You're on the second story above the ground.
So-
So this is this is a 20-ish foot
Can
fall.
I take a pot shot at him?
Well, to be fair, Buckle told him to get away, just so we know.
I leave it to you to make your judgments of those actions, how they read to you. But yeah, Caliban, what's the you have a short bow? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you'll have a shot. It's going to be difficult, so you're going to need to make this with disadvantage, which you can mitigate. I am realizing as I say it.
Is he?
Yeah.
How far
I'm
away
gonna
is he?
just do a straight roll. if
It's a
that's
straight
cool.
roll for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Is he more than 60 feet away?
I have 600 feet on my longbow.
You do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come over and have a shot too.
Wait,
Can we shoot at the same
can
time?
I ask how far
Yeah,
away? he is?
ready and steady
Um,
breath.
Rav, I would say this is, I would say in the 80-foot range,
I
like
missed.
round about that.
Oh no.
Caliban, that is going to be a miss. And the window is getting crowded over here, so it is at this point it's pretty difficult. Like
Yeah, I'm
Caliban's
gonna
just picked up and taken a shot. Avery, if you want to run over there and try to do the same, it is going to be further away and a bit harder. So you're welcome to make a perception check and then a shot if you're able to see. This is a
Okay.
figure running into the semi-darkness ahead.
Okay.
But if you can roll, on your perception check, if you can get an 18, this is a very difficult thing to see. I'll let you take a shot.
Combat day. Oh yeah.
What? On the nose plus 6. Okay, Avery, ever alert, and on the draw, you come right to the window. Seeing Caliban, you just follow his line of sight. Boom, arrows up. Make your attack roll.
I realized I didn't add my roll up correctly last time because I hadn't changed my flow chart since we leveled up. Wait, I think I did it wrong again.
Maybe adding 8's quite a lot, even for your bow. But it's 3 plus whatever your actual add-ons to your longbow is.
No, my longbow is +8, so it's 1d8 +8, I think.
Oh, it's probably plus 8 to hit. It's probably more like plus 4 or 5 for damage.
+5. All right.
What'd you say, Caliban?
Did you make was that a shoot? It wasn't a
The-
perception check.
The first one was a perception check. Did you make an attack roll as well there, Avery?
Yeah, that was my attack roll, so just -3 off the.
So
'cause it's
no, you rolled a
written
d8 on that last one, I think. So I think maybe yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll keep that as your damage, which was 8 points of damage total if you hit, I think. But you need to
Oh, I
actually make
get
an
it.
attack roll. So make a regular attack roll. If you're doing just like Caliban, if you're taking steady aim, it'll take a difficult shot, make it normal. So it's just a straight roll. You don't have advantage.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, we'll see if you hit. If you hit, you do 8 damage. Unfortunately,
no.
so that's a 3 plus 8, which is an 11. So that's not going to hit.
Is he running towards the jail or?
From this point, he's actually running away from the jail area. If you imagine the house, behind the house to the back of it, which would be to your left, is like the cook and the chef's quarters and the armory and barracks and stuff in the dungeons. It was more straight ahead of you. And then straight ahead of you and a bit to your right, kind of rounding the corner of the other wing of the house and going sort of towards the wall of the compound that way. But the creature is now out of your sight after the both of you take those shots.
How far was that? Like, that's pretty far, right? If they're out of sight.
I mean, you don't know now because you can't see.
Shall we follow and go back to the prison, or
Padraig's going to go help and put the fire out. So, is there somewhere that like he can see? Yeah, tell me about the fire again. Like it's quite...
over towards the sort of barracks armory area, so near where you just were, not too far from where you just were outside. There is smoke, which you can see vaguely because of how dark it is, but there is also motes of flame coming from some of the windows of the armory building.
Okay. Is there a way to like jump down safely from the window?
You can. Basically, it'll be difficult. You can try to climb down. If you jump down, you can make, an acrobatics check to try to mitigate some of that damage. Right now, if you just fell from this height, it would be 2d6 fall damage. So if you made a good acrobatics check, you might be able to knock one of those d6s off, but it is still going to hurt. Like this is, without some significant class features.
I can use Featherfall and 5 of us can land safely.
That's true.
So
Buckle's still unconscious.
Well, while that's happening, can Barwynn have been casting Lesser Restoration on Buckle?
Yep. In fact, make a medicine check, Barwynn.
Oh, okay.
Do that.
I didn't lose any HP. I'm just down.
During all of this, Rav has been slowly pulling Buckle onto his lap and going shh.
Oh no! What's with all
With an
these
11,
rolls?
Barwynn, you're obviously thinking about casting something like Lesser Restoration. You're like, this has got to be some gnarly stuff. This looks like really horrible. You heard all about that purple worm poison from before, and like, oh, it's going to be awful. And you come forward and you see Rav like sort of cradling Buckle, and you get closer and you're like, he's just asleep.
And Rav goes shh.
There's no telltale signs of like illness. There's no blood around the mouth. There's no swelling of any sort. No difficulty breathing. Nothing like that. You reckon if you shook him, you might be able to wake him up.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Buckle, you suddenly come back to awareness, like coughing a little bit at this strange residue. There is a smell, an overpowering smell in your ear, and in your nose for a moment. It's almost like a slight stinging sensation. Which I guess to our senses would be something like rubbing alcohol, but that's not as much of a thing. But yeah, it's like it's really astringent, bitter sort of when you inhale, but you are awake. Rav is above you, and Barwynn is right in front of you, sort of shaking your shoulders.
But I was like, as it kind of rolls off of Rav's lap.
Barwynn, what hast thou done? Thou hast wakened him.
Would thou have him sleep, given what is going on right now?
Indeed, he seemed most tired.
What is going on? Where's the beast gone?
We have killed the doppelganger. The other has run away, and
another.
We're hearing fire. Or the Chris, your guard, Chris. Art thou quite well? Does thou not feel anything?
I feel fine. Oh, I missed the death of one and found out there is another. So hopefully this death I will be present for.
Let's go.
Aye.
Are you rousing yourselves to go? You're jumping out the window.
No, you go, Adam.
What were you? Padraig made this motion.
I'm gonna jump out the window pretty soon.
Okay, pretty soon, like right now?
Yeah, like others are following, right?
I don't know. Depends on what they do. But you can make an acrobatics check if you would like to. Otherwise, you can make an athletics check to try to climb down. It would just be slower.
If we chase this guy, is there a chance that we'll catch him, or is he just gone?
I mean, you're sort of standing here right now, and this person is sprinting. So,
Avery, Caliban, you two find Chris or whatever its name is. I will help the villagers.
We also need to make sure that Vale is safe, though. I'm just concerned that this is just a
A red herring.
distraction, and we need to go to Vela and let that guy run wherever he will. I'm to Vela.
Indeed, I shall go to Vela if thou wish to sprint with this young fellow. I'm off to find Bradley and Vela.
Bradley?
Yeah, where is Bradley right now? Wherever Rav left him, probably your room.
It's a doppelganger. Hey, so are you gonna like wild shape or something, Padraig? Is that what you were doing, or you're just falling to the ground?
I was because I thought that you were gonna featherfall, but that's okay. I can.
Yeah.
Check.
I will.
Oh,
But I can only do 5 people, so.
Yeah, I'll jump out with Padraig.
And I shall take the stairs.
All right, great. Let's go. I cast feather
Okay. Are all of you jumping out this window?
except for Rav, I think.
It is a rather big window, so you might be able to pull this off, although you will have to break some more of the glass to do that, because only one creature broke part of it. Okay, you break through the glass. Caliban, you cast your spell, and all of you drift, not like wispy lightly, but manageably, and you land on the ground easily. Where are you heading?
I sprint after Chris.
Okay. Buckle does that. Padraig is going towards the fire. Caliban wants to go towards Vela, right?
Correct.
Barwynn and Avery, what are you two doing?
Maybe we should go find Alda.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. Where
And
would you
I'll
like to
go-
look for Alda?
I'll go with Caliban to Vela.
You
Did
two should
we
interrogate Vela.
just know everywhere she likes to hang out when she's here?
I believe we
I will
last
say-
met her in the stables as a donkey.
When
Right?
you first arrived, yes. Although it has been like 2 days now, and we haven't literally had the conversation, but I do think it's probably fair enough to point out that Vela would have told you at some point that Alda is hiding in the lake, a pond that is kind of like part of the grounds here, off to one side of the house. Now, you haven't had like a scene with Alda in a while, but that's where she has been hiding, so that the people don't see her here. So you can go to look for her there. Okay. Now, I do think that actually there's a few rolls to be made here. Actually, Buckle and Buckle's alone going after Chris. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Make a perception check for me, Buckle,
Oh.
as you're running out there to see what you can see.
Can I give him
no
advantage?
modifier.
You're not with him.
Yeah.
Okay, 9. Barwynn and Avery, you are going to the water's edge to look for Alda. Padraig and Caliban, you are going off to find Vela.
No. Sorry, Ravalor and Caliban are going off to find Vela. I'm going to the fire.
That's correct. My mistake. Buckle, it's dark. It's difficult to make out anything specific. There are people running all over the place, many of whom are wearing the same uniform that Chris was wearing. So you look and you see some people silhouetted in the fire off to your left. You look to the right. The front sort of part where the front gates of the compound are much less populated. And you do know that Chris was running vaguely in that direction, or at least towards the kind of side wall. You can see the silhouettes of a couple of soldiers running along the top wall, and you can hear voices of them crying out to each other, some of whom you might recognize as they run by. But you don't see Chris.
Okay. In that case, I'll put out the fire with Padraig.
Okay, you can start heading back towards that way, which does seem to be where a lot of people are running, and attention seems to be drawn. Padraig, you get there a bit earlier than Buckle. You will notice that there was one fire kind of in the back corner of the armory area, which I don't know if you've been inside this area yet, but it's where a lot of the weaponry is kept. And there are people running in and out of this room, and the fire doesn't seem to have gotten huge. It seems to have fairly recently started. And there are soldiers everywhere, and some of them look like they are panicking, and a number of them are shouting very loud orders, trying to tell people to keep their heads. Some heavy woolen blankets are being brought out, and sort of a few people are wrapping themselves and going inside and attempting to beat down some of the flames that have licked forward. There are people bringing buckets of water from a nearby well, slowly but surely throwing some of them through the window. This is a crucial moment in a fire spread where it has been there long enough to establish itself, and if it is not stopped, it is going to spread in earnest.
Yeah.
So, Padraig, how are you hoping to help?
I tell everyone to just stand back and stop running in.
Yeah.
Do they do that?
Yeah, I mean, look, seeing you come in, a number of them recently saw you turn into a chicken, among other things.
Then
what are you going to do?
I take a bucket of water from one of them, and then I use Tidal Wave.
Hey. Okay.
At level.
This is interesting. I'm interested in the fact that you picked up. Yeah, and the thing is, I like that you picked up the bucket. It's cool flavor. Technically, you don't even need to be in a body of water to use this spell.
I think it just needs a drop of water, doesn't it?
Let's see. It does have a material component, which you're right. It's a drop of water. Way to be on top of your spells, John.
Right. That's the only one I know.
Love to see it. Love to see it. You conjure up a tidal wave, which has a range of 120 feet, and which is 10 feet wide and up to 10 feet. Oh, sorry. The area can be up to 30 feet long, up to 10 feet wide, and up to 10 feet tall. More than enough to encompass the total area that this fire currently is filling. What does it look like when Padraig casts tidal wave?
So, I grab the bucket and then I throw the bucket, and as I'm throwing it, I go. And then this bucket of water turns into this tsunami.
And that is what happens, Padraig. Everyone is already running and screaming. When you do this, there is just like a cry of sudden fear and then just stunned silence as these gouts of water just emerge from this bucket as though it's been there the whole time. Some of the panes of heavy leaden glass on these windows have already shattered from the pressure of the heat. They break fully from the onslaught of this water, which rushes over the flames with a hiss, and you can hear the sides of the building quake and creak as the force of this wave slamming into it rocks it back and forth. It's a sturdy structure, though, built of good timber and some stone in its framing. It's not as heavily built as the mansion house, though, so it definitely could have burned all the way. But there's a loud hiss and a kind of vapor and smoke filling the area. Those who are close to the inside come running out coughing, but otherwise unhurt. Padraig, you have put out this fire.
Welcome.
Now, I believe it was Caliban and Rav who were going to Lady Vela, is that right? Rav being a bit further behind, taking the stairs. Caliban, you're going to get to that area first. You will see that you'll probably walk up. Caliban, you will see out of the corner of your eye Padraig doing this and hear the sort of hiss. As you get there are a number of guards in front of the door where Vela is. They do recognize you, but they put a hand up, stopping you, being under strict orders not to let anybody in, even if they recognize them. Rav, you be coming up from a bit further behind.
Rav is muttering under his breath, "I'd never get stupid feather fall. I'll take the stairs."
I realized as soon as you walked down the stairs that I could have just cast the spell again.
Too late.
Yeah, right.
Indeed.
Has anybody gone in?
While you've been standing there?
Yeah, that's what I asked the guard.
Oh, that was why you did the thing with your voice just then. No, I understand. Okay. No, we've let no one come or go.
Are there any other ways to get in this building?
Why would I tell thee that?
Very good. Very good.
Tried to trick me. That would have done it. That would have. And then gets serious again. Like the two of them have had a handful of reality checks here in the last few minutes.
I'm so tempted to cast Dimension Door and just go past them.
You got the slots. You can take one person with you.
Yeah, but that might
Please take
alarm.
me. Please take me.
I'll take Buckle. I feel like that'll alarm them. So Rav
Yeah.
just says,
Maybe we could
Listen
go
here.
around the corner and do it though.
thank thee very much for thine time, gents. We are off. You passed the test. Goodbye.
Bye.
All
And
right.
as they walk around the corner, Rav goes, Caliban, I feel like we never do japes together. This is fun.
Hey, I'm not that much fun for japes. But I'll jape along with you.
Okay, you're gonna dimension door through a wall into the hallway full of cells.
Yeah, assuming that's how that works.
Yeah, you can give it a go. Now
That
there are
was
no
a
windows.
vague answer on purpose.
You are able to do this. Dimension door doesn't restrict you to only going places you can see or have been. It means you go a certain distance in a certain direction, and you decide that. So this will be a bit of a gamble. I think you have been in the building, you have walked around the building, you have a bit of an idea of its scale. You can give this a go. Now, the risk is you might splint yourself, and that will cause some damage. Now, the rules for this, whenever there is usually like teleportation, stuff like that, is that if you appear inside of a physical object, like a wall or a door or something like that, the magic will shunt you away from there, and you will take a certain amount of force damage equal to 1d6 per 5 feet you have to get moved, more or less. So this might hurt a bit, basically, unless you are lucky. Now, I'm going to let you make an Arcana check. And if you make a 15 with your Arcana check, I'm going to say you get in there unscathed. Get below that, you're going to take a little bit of damage.
Great. Let's do it. Okay, I'm +3 on Arcana.
Day.
What a journey.
Yes.
19. Rav.
No,
What does it
switching
look like
gear
when you
today.
cast Dimension Door? Have you done that in this campaign yet? I'm not sure.
No, in fact, I have a whole bunch of spells I haven't used.
Yeah.
And
Dimension Door is quite a dramatic one, according to
Yeah.
what it looks
I
like.
also have Tiny Hut. What the hell have I been doing?
My favorite spell in Dungeons and Dragons, sleeping on it. You just had good places to sleep most of the time.
Yeah.
That's why. So, what does it look like when Rav casts Dimension Door?
Oh, well, he hasn't done it yet. But I imagine it looks like this. I'm gonna go that away. And then, like, sparks shoot out of his hand.
Those sparks open up a interdimensional space,
Yeah.
which you can take Caliban, who is willing, with you and sidestep through it. Caliban and Rav, you feel a sudden rush of cold and almost breathlessness. And then you can see again, and you appear side by side directly in the hallway
Holding hands.
where you were before. If
And they're
Rav
holding
grabs
hands.
Caliban's hand.
Yes.
Yep. Yep, that can happen. You did have to sort of take him. So you appear there, and then Buckle, you didn't let actually the chefs leave, did you? You kept them in there.
No, yeah, still
So
there.
the cooks are all still in their cell, and Vela, Bertram, and Myra are sort of standing worriedly off to the side, and they all jump as you just appear into the air next to them. We will cut over now to Barwynn and Avery. You have been going to the edge of the lake. How are you planning on calling on Alda?
Don't worry, Barwyn. I am very practiced in the art of underwater speaking. Avery sticks her head in the lake. And she's like,
Why don't you just ask Water Yori for help?
That's most impressive, Avery.
So you just stick your head underwater and yell.
yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
actually have water breathing or anything like that.
You're not going to make a roll for that?
It doesn't work.
Hmm.
Which they will find out, I suppose, over the course of time if they decide to wait and see if it worked. Yeah.
Maybe you have a better suggestion. I'm assuming that didn't work. Alda didn't come.
No, it's not a giant lake, but it's a sizable pond, and like it's one of these nice. Like it's a little bit bigger even than like your average decorative rich people pond. Like it might have even sort of been here before, or at the very least it was very extremely excavated.
Mm-hmm.
Might need something a bit more robust.
We could go for a quick swim.
Yes.
All right. Taking a mithril breastplate off and stuff and go into the water.
Okay, you gonna swim?
Pardon?
You two gonna swim?
Or Barwynn is at least. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Well, if you're going out there, you can do that and swim out for a little bit ways into the lake. What do you do once you sort of get out to sort of swimming depth?
I keep sticking my head under the water, then trying to call Alda's name.
Hello.
Yeah, Barwynn's just going to start trying to dive a little bit and then come back up. Just splash around a bit, see if she can attract attention.
Okay. After splashing around a bit and moving, Avery,
Mm-hmm.
you do hear a slight sound, just the faintest little in the water behind you, like a little tiniest splash. As you turn around, you see a huge fish. And then you hear, "Hello, Avery!" Chop. Fish falls bloodily into the water and floats across the surface of it to you, and Alda is chewing loudly. And then sort of like swallows after taking like maybe 2 chews of the meat. And then is looking at you and says, "Avery, Barwynn, I did not know you enjoyed to swim."
Well, we're complex creatures just like you, Alda. Don't forget that.
Are you coming to tell me that I am permitted once more to fly at night?
No, that's not what we're here for.
But we do need thine help, and we need you to come into the manor with us.
Into the house,
Mm-hmm.
where there are those who might see?
A good point. Should Alda come in as the dragon, or should we transfigure her?
I think perhaps, Elder, you should be disguised, which means thou art joining the ranks of us all, for Avery has also become recently able to disguise herself. You could
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot. Are you still looking like Vela, Avery, or did you drop that?
I think technically I didn't say I stopped.
Then that would have gone a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it would not have. It occurs to me as I say that. Avery, why art thou disguised as Vela?
Oh, you can see through this disguise, Alda?
No. But I just know that you are not Vela. You look like her. But you do not sound like her now that you have spoken. But you do look like her. You do not smell like her.
Yes. You know, I can't afford Chanel number 5 like some people.
It is Vela's favorite.
It is. Alda, just like I have disguised myself, we shall disguise you and we shall sneak into the manor, and we need your expertise in a dragon matter.
Dragon matter.
Something only you can help us with.
Well, I shall do my best to be of service. I have been terribly bored. There are no big fish in this lake. I miss the fish that fly.
Flying fish?
Oh.
Yes. Well, they jump very well.
Oh, those ones. Yeah.
They would have been fun to hunt if they were not killing you, Avery.
Aye, yes. Very fun. Well, what say you we get out of this water now and go solve some riddles?
Very well. You wish me to be a donkey once more?
Avery, just yes. Oh, perhaps.
Maybe not a donkey. What about something like a squirrel or a monkey?
Oh, I do not think that would be as convincing. Bertram did tell me, and then Alda sort of leans back and looks at her fish that's sort of drifting away for a moment and reconsiders it and sort of scrabbles up at, there is a kind of collar that she's wearing, and she like taps at a small ruby that is on the center of it. I must wish myself to be something of approximate size and stature that does reflect my own. Otherwise, it shall be very strange and easy to spot.
Alda, could you be me? Could you be Avery?
Oh, nay. I do not think you have 4 legs.
What about a big dog?
A Newfoundland.
These are the fluffiest.
Yes.
I think I shall be one of those. And then Alda dives backwards and sort of swoops like a bird in flight, but through the water, which you could only sort of hear as she displaces the dark water below you. And then she like shoots like a missile out of the water to land on land. And then as she lands, flicks this little ruby, and then great gouts of white and gray fur start sprouting out apparently all over her body, and her wings fold back tight against her. Knowing as you do that this is an illusion, you can begin to sort of see where the flicker of this is, and her golden scaled form beneath. But otherwise, she is a massive, massive dog, like real big. And the illusion has made her sort of smaller than her actual form in order to fit this, but you only sort of fleetingly see the glimmer of her actual form around it.
We'll swim out and put a breastplate and stuff back on.
Okay. Ravelor, you were coming outside and going back towards Vela and all that, right? You might be the best position to hear, although you probably wouldn't. If you could, you are still inside, perhaps where Bradley is. You could hear that the clock in that bottom chamber begins to chime 12 times. I need all of you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
No.
We should have destroyed the clock.
No, Adam said they're expensive.
They are. For Padraig. 15 for Buckle.
I knew this was going to be bad. When Adam didn't give us a break, I was like, this isn't over. There's more to come.
You'll get your break.
No, I don't want it now.
Broken bones.
Okay. Now, all of you have made your saves. Barwynn, you can make this at advantage.
Oh.
So you get another roll.
Sorry, I put +2. My saving is at +3, so I should be 19.
All right, noted.
Yeah, mine too.
I'm at 19.
I don't think mine rolled. I rolled, but it's not there.
Oh yeah,
Is it
me
in
also.
the chat?
No, it's
I
not there.
don't. No, I don't see an Avery on that list. You
Okay.
all
Oh,
rolled quite well.
I see it. I see a 19.
Yeah, Avery, you got 19.
Okay.
Interesting, because I don't see it on that list.
Did you believe it? Did you believe Adam?
Well,
I can't see Avery
good
either.
question.
Yeah, I can't see him on the list.
You're just above me.
And below
Barwynn is just
Barwynn.
above Caliban.
Yeah, it didn't come through on my screen.
Do you
Oh,
want me to
interesting.
take a screenshot so you know we're not lying?
I trust you. It was a 19, did you say, Avery?
Yeah.
Or those of you who can see that roll?
Oh, I can't see mine either. Mine was at 20.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, wasn't
Sorry.
Yes, and?
You have to yes and cheating. That's
No, but.
Okay.
I can see Avery's.
You can?
Good.
19.
All right. In that case, did any of you? I don't think any of you did with all those crazy high rolls just now.
They were crazy high, were they?
Actually, some of you might have. Who here rolled below a 17? I can pull up my list here. Rav,
Buckle.
Padraig, and Buckle.
The
Okay.
old misfits.
You are going to take full damage for what's about to get rolled.
I'll take it.
And-
Fine.
The rest of you are going to take half.
So half of 5?
No.
We'll just see.
I think it's just
Oh.
Oh, you were very lucky. Look at all those ones.
Yeah.
Look
There's
at all
still
those
3
ones.
fives, though.
And much worse.
What
Okay,
kind of
20.
damage is this?
All of you in your various locations, Avery and Barwynn, as you're beginning to trot out of the water and put your clothes and breastplate back on, Caliban and Rav, as you're standing in front of those in the dungeon, Padraig, having just cast your tidal wave, and Buckle, making your way back towards the doused fire. Alda, standing as a Newfoundland, is watching this unfold.
Oh.
All of you feel a rack of pain course through your body, through your entire nervous system. Your hands clench involuntarily. Those of you who are next to each other, if you can see each other, and Caliban and Rav, you can see Bertram and Vela and Myra. Black
And some
tears begin to stream from all of your eyes
Oh, shit.
and flow with a you cannot check it. It's just covering your cheeks. The pain is terrible.
that's
It
some
is
Billie
like-
Eilish shit.
It is spontaneous. It will drop you to your knees, especially those of you taking full damage.
Especially those of you with knees.
Caliban and Rav, you can see Bertram and Vela drop to the ground and huddled forward, clutching themselves. And Myra falls to the floor, unmoving. And that is where we're going to take a break.
Tune in next year.
Yeah.
It is 9:07. We went a little bit past 9.
13, is that right?
What'd you say?
We take 13 if we're taking half damage.
25 halved would actually be 12 because you round down.
Okay.
So you got off so lucky. Got off so lucky, the lot of you.
Rav is back to 16 hit points.
Oh my god.
But Myra is on the floor and
We need a
is
long
out.
rest. We need a long rest.
Yeah.
Guys,
Uh,
just
Still that tiny hut until February 2022.
the silver lining
Actually-
is Bertram might die.
Yay!
Only until let's take 10. Let's take 12 minutes. At 9:20, we will return. So go stretch your legs, make yourself a tea, and we shall return anon for the last half of the last session for this year for the Headless Marys Shakespeare-inspired D&D.
Yeah.
See you shortly. We are back.
I can't.
Welcome all to the second half of our last Headless Marys session for this year. When we left off, the party was separated. Most of them down in the dungeons area with Vela et al., or heading that way, as Buckle was. But Barwynn and Avery were with Alda, who has recently been disguised as a Newfoundland. And you were walking back towards the mansion house as a terrible feeling filled all of you from within, racking pain filling your entire nervous system, and the involuntary shedding of dark, inky black tears down your face, covering your cheeks with their stains and dripping onto the ground as you're doubled over in pain. All of this is happening at the same time. None of you are alone, so you'd be aware that the people with you, other than Alda in your 2 cases, are all experiencing this. Vela and Bertram are doubled over on the pain and on the floor in agony, and Myra is unresponsive on the ground, lying
Can I
there.
do a medical check on Myra?
You can do so very quickly if you're doing this like spur of the moment to go do that.
Yeah.
Make a medicine check. Who else is down there with Caliban? It's Rav.
Rav.
Is that right?
Rav.
Because you mentioned Doradin. That's right.
Rav will not do a medical check on Bertram.
Bertram is alive. So 17, Caliban, you run to the still form of Myra. She is not breathing. She is lying there unresponsive on the ground. And her face
It's
is
very
covered
hard.
with these inky black tears.
Yeah. It's very hard for a Kenku to do mouth to mouth.
That's true.
But Lord, do I want to see him try.
He's gonna do way more damage than's already been done.
Caliban, as far as you can tell, Myra is dead.
She's gone.
Ah,
How about the other cooks? Are they all the same? I imagine they've all...
None of them look worse for wear. None of them are crying those black tears. They're all just staring in horror, and some of them is like, "My lady, my lord, my lady!" And then like a few of them are like shouting and putting their hands out through the bars. It's like, "Someone help!"
Alice to help because I locked them in. Great.
Yeah, I've got a potion of healing that I'll give to Vela.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is noted. You can roll the She will take it from you and say, "But Myra, can."
I'm sorry, it's too late for her, I dare say. We've done a mischief.
Roll the healing for Vela, if that's it.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Hey, every little bit helps. We've learned.
Rav is gonna cast Tiny Hut and make them all get inside.
It's going to take you a minute to cast it, I think, but it's a ritual, so you don't have to burn a spell slot.
Okay. Rav's gonna start doing it.
Okay. I will note that for Vela.
How does Bertram look? Does he look really
Pretty rough. Pretty rough. You've seen him get knocked out before, but he's still up, but he is like doubled over on all fours on the ground, sputtering and like wiping these inky black tears off his face and like fighting back heaves. He looks in rough shape, but he's breathing.
So the tears are just the tears are still coming even after the attack? They're not stopping?
Well, they don't seem to be freshly coming, but like there's just all over their faces, like they're wiping what was already there. And you would notice, Caliban, since you've suffered this as well, like the black tears sort of gradually subsided until there was just regular ones replacing them from the regular pain, and then they stopped on their own accord after a bit.
I have to take off my plague mask and just empty it out. Yeah. I've got a second potion of healing. I will ask Bertram if he needs it. Otherwise, I'll give it to Vela.
He says, "Please give it to my lady." And then he will turn and actually cast Cure Wounds on Vela as well.
Okay. That's probably better than what I can do. I might keep my potion. And,
Okay.
How many do you have? How many do you have?
How many?
Yeah.
I just had 2.
Okay. Roll that. Vela gets a little boost.
Sorry.
So, Barwynn and Avery, you are with Alda out on the grounds, and Alda is alarmed, seeing both of you double over with pay, crying black tears, and then she looks up, her eyes totally distant for a moment, and then she looks down to you and says, "Can you move?" To both of you.
Yes.
She takes off. She actually leaps into the air and flies in her dog form, or apparent dog form. And it is a strange sight because she leaps into the air and you just see this Newfoundland taking off, but then sort of beyond, when the wings spread far out beyond the scope of this illusion, you can sort of see them. So it's like just fractured bits of the ends of wings going up and down, yay far away from Alda's body. Real weird to see. But she is beelining back over the house, directly back towards where the dungeon area is.
Oh, and start running.
Yeah, we'll follow it.
Okay, you two
Behind
are
Avery,
heading off that
slower.
way. Okay, Padraig and Buckle, you are both outside, I believe, right? You have both just had this experience. And Buckle, you might have actually been alone or coming just up towards where Padraig was doing that, and you would have seen each other just grab your abdomens and fall and go through this together. What are the two of you going to do?
Padraig, what was that?
I know not, but if the two of us have experienced the same thing, perchance the rest have too. Let's find them.
I run towards the dungeons.
And I follow. I go to run a different way and then notice that Buckle's running the other way. I'm like, oh.
Vision still black and blurred.
Stage left even.
You come running up to the door, Buckle. You see the guards standing there looking harried, and seeing you coming, they both salute. They will let you pass.
Padraig salutes them too.
Although they both look at you like, "Did we? Is this?"
Excuse me, the doppelganger has run away.
Captain, do you mind if we? Could I just give that armor a thump?
Oh, please! And I hold my arms out, and
they'll both put it out, and they kind of like dunk 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 dunk, and one of them actually sort of like seems to be losing himself for a second, like. And they do that and gives it an extra tap for good measure, and then like, right then, that's the genuine article. That is very well, and then they will open the door.
And then Padraig stands there like this. Padraig stands just waiting.
Where are you standing?
Because I'm right behind Buckle, so I'm
waiting to be tapped. Okay, well, one of them will lean forward and be like, tap against your armor. All right. Then you're with the captain.
At this point, would we see a large? At this point, would we see a large dog flying out of the dungeons and Avery and Barwynn running after it?
You would actually see a large dog flying over the house.
Okay.
So, Buckle, you might not see it right away. Padraig, with your passive, you might actually, as the figure of this big Newfoundland blots out the moon silhouetted in it for a second, and then plummets down towards you. This Newfoundland lands on the ground, skidding to a stop, and you hear Alda's voice come out of the dog. Move. And a pressure sort of hits you to the side before the Newfoundland's body gets to you. The guards are starting to move in to try to stop this creature, and they're like, whoa! And then they are both going to try to grab for Alda.
Oh,
the dog that spoke.
Nay, I believe the dog is a friend of ours, based on her voice. I know, tis a strange day that I presume is about to get stranger, so brace thyself.
Yes, Captain, Captain. And they will close the door behind you as the rest of you go in. Newfoundland, Alda, comes bounding in. None of you, the rest of you inside, would know this is what has transpired. And then, collides with slides up next to where Vela and Bertram are, and is leaping up, and you can see this dog is looking concernedly and putting its head to either side of Vela's, and then paws on shoulders and looking straight into her eyes. Bertram looks quizzical at first, and seems to it dawns on him what's happening. Vela never seems confused. She just gives the big dog a big hug when she gets close. And she's saying, I'm here. Be quiet. Shush now. They've had enough of a scare today. I believe then all of you are gathered now in the dungeon area. And Ravelor, by this time, I think, has had enough time to conjure a tiny hut, which is a dome of a solid color of some kind. What does Rav's tiny hut look like?
Striped.
You know what? Sure. We'll twist. We'll twist
Got
that
away
roll.
with something.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
the
give that to
same
you.
striped color and appearance as the Ninish Tart hut.
Isn't it just
Yeah.
those bold red and white stripes?
Make it brown.
Is this like a circus tent?
This is pre-Avery's days, yes.
And
In the
bubbles.
woods of the Forest of Argen. The first dungeon this group ran away from.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right.
Not the last.
Not the last.
I'm gonna. First thing I'm gonna do when I get inside is look for a toilet.
Yeah, there's not one. That is not a feature of the spell. So as long as Rav is inside of this space, it will stay there for 8 hours. And Rav plus either, I believe, plus 8 other creatures,
Yeah, I
Or
think it's
possibly plus
9
9?
total.
including you. So as long as Rav stays within the hut, it is there. It is invulnerable, basically. So arrows and stuff, you can't shoot through it. And only
And
the people who are
spells.
nominated. Yes, that's true. And only people who are nominated to come in can come in. So whom are you allowing to come in to the tiny hut?
How many of us are there?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you, plus, I suppose, Vela, Bertram, Alda, the body of Myra.
We're leaving that outside.
Yeah, and then there are the cooks and stuff in there, and a few guards.
They're not coming in.
Apple is not coming in.
Wait,
Okay.
so there's exactly 9 of us?
If you take Vela, Bertram, and Alda, that makes 9 in addition to the 6 of you.
I was really hoping there wouldn't be room for Bertram.
Rav's choice.
Maybe you could just not let him in initially, and he can walk into the side, and then you can let him in.
Rav called the little huddle. Team huddle. What say ye, comrades? I think we should hide us Vela inside here, where she shall be invulnerable to these bizarre attacks. But if some of ye wish to remain outside so that you can hunt down the perpetrator of these violences, is also
I will remain and hunt.
I'd very much like a rest.
We are also expecting Peaseblossom to be back, hopefully soon. And if that be the case, I would like to be in a place where he can find me. Also, what if this is a precursor to an attack?
well, I assumed as much.
Then we almost need to make sure that the defenses are ready and secure. But
Indeed.
I believe,
But is not protecting Vela of the utmost importance, for she is clearly the target of the attacks.
aye. And so mayhap you stay here with Vela whilst we prepare.
Caliban, a small point of order, but a relevant one.
Yeah.
This is a very difficult thing for you to communicate right now, because you do not have Peaseblossom with you. Now you can make efforts to communicate with broken pieces of other voices if you like, but it would not be this fluid.
Yeah, true.
Um,
Me going for walks.
once you are nominated to be in the tiny hut, can you come and go as you please?
Yes, for the duration, and only if Rav leaves will it dissipate.
Great. So Rav nominates everyone here so that they can come in if they need, and then if they choose to leave, they can.
But there's 9 of us.
Yeah, there's 9 allowed.
Oh, right, you're right.
Who has glamour-studded armor here?
Oh,
Avery.
humble brag.
Yeah, what a flex. What a flex.
I thought at least 3 of us had glamour-studded armor.
Let's all
Some
play
of you,
Well, I have
some
the
of you have
belt.
good studded armor, and also one of you, whoever does, Caliban, has the belt
Yeah.
of the disguised self, which does the same effect, minus
And-
not being armor.
You pick up the belt.
Yeah, I
Prince
picked up
David.
I left it there.
Caliban lets no corpse lie.
Perhaps we will disguise ourselves as Vela.
Okay.
Aye, if thou hast a death wish.
So what is the thing again, Adam? It's
It is if you want to, you can look up in D&D Beyond the Hat of Disguise, It is effectively the same mechanism. It's just a belt. It allows you to cast Disguise Self at will. So this is an illusion which affects your appearance, and it can affect the appearance of your clothing as well. And there is a DC to beat. If someone suspects you, they can make an investigation check and see if you are not really you.
I have Disguise Self anyway.
That's true.
Doesn't Rav have garments of armor?
Yeah,
No,
I
I
don't
have-
have disguise.
Studded leather armor.
I have studded leather armor, and I am a stud, so that must be what you're thinking of. Anyways,
Yeah.
Rav gets in the hut, and he nominates everyone.
Okay.
So Bertram and Vela and Alda will go into the hut, at least for now, and sit in there with you.
I think it's a good idea. I might stay in the hut with Ravel or because this pairing has worked really well in the past.
Indeed.
And will protect Vela. But I might start a long rest, and then if anything happens, I will disguise myself as Vela.
Okay, it is after midnight, so I'm sure a lot of you will be tired after the big day you've had. So Padraig can start to rest. Bertram and Vela are looking pretty rough and weary. They've had some exhausting days themselves. They are at least going to make as though they are making themselves comfortable as best they can on the floor with nothing.
Can I not rest because I have to focus on the hut, or can I chill?
This is not a concentration effect. As long as you're in the hut, it works. It is designed to be a sleep and safety spell. That's kind of its purpose. So
Then
you're
Rav
fine.
will take a rest also.
You have only 4 hours that you need to rest, so do that. Caliban and Avery and Buckle have declared intentions for things to do outside of the hut. What's Barwynn doing?
Barwynn is going to. Yeah, I am torn. I think I am most useful after a rest, but if that would have me come with you, I will. Waste no time coming to get me if that needs me, but I will rest with the others.
Should have be at thy best, Barwynn.
And sleep as well.
What? Just a quick side note. This is Ravelor talking to everyone else. The odds of us getting 8 hours of sleep, methinks, are quite slim. But we shall attempt it, I suppose.
The odds of, by the way the spell works, the odds of everyone inside the hut getting 8 hours seems pretty high.
All right.
I think I'm going to take my rest as well. I only need 4.
Okay. So then that will mean both Rav and Avery are fresh by about a little after 4 a.m.
Yeah. It just occurred to me how mean it is that we just climbed into this hut in front of a bunch of caged cooks.
Oh. Buckle's like,
Bye! We're going in our-
Buckle's like, oh, and unlocks the cell.
Mhm.
And he's like, thank you for thy cooperation. Thou may leave. However, there is a potential siege on its way to us. So I shall not lock you in, but this is a safe place for thee if thou needest it.
Oh, very, very well. Siege. And they sort of looked at the few of them do seem to actually consider the offer to stay down here, seeing especially that the lady is down here. But they'll reluctantly leave and kind of think we'll go to find the other people they know to see where they're holed up.
Feel free to ask guards to help thee bring provisions back to the dungeons if thou wished, for it is currently the safest place on the grounds.
Oh, all right. And a little while later, it would appear that someone from this group actually thought to go grab some bedding, blankets, pillows, and things like that. And they come and they just leave it at one of the guards out front, who don't let them inside without a clear checking. But one of the guards will open the door and then just deposit some of that stuff straight in on the other side and close it. So the idea being that they didn't want her ladyship or her honored guests to be sleeping on the cold hard floor if they didn't have to.
Oh.
Of course, inside the hut, it is a pleasant temperature, regardless of the outside temperature. That's one of its features, so it feels nice in there. So I think that's everyone accounted for, unless Caliban, were you wanting to go out and around the grounds? Is that right?
Yeah, I just want to get a lay of the land, see what's happening.
You want to take a walk?
Yeah.
You can make a perception check if you like.
Yeah. Cool.
You can walk the castle walls as well if you want to be able to see the whole thing, or go inside the house, whichever you prefer.
I'll do all of that. I'll start outside though and do the carpet walk. Oh, that's...
I flirted with greatness. 18. Okay. You mount one of the walls and begin to move around, and you can see that there are a number of guards around. There's visible presence at all points throughout the open areas of the grounds. There are constant motions from the guards who are marching, so that looking out and about from the corner view, it does seem like at any given point in time, there's always at least a few guards within line of sight of most of the area of the immediate environment around the building, the main buildings themselves. There are most of the people who are moving around at this point, this late hour, are in soldier uniform. There are a number of these cooks and servants and folks who are leaving the dungeon and bringing some supplies back and forth, but that movement stops after a while. It is late. Everyone is, if not necessarily able to sleep easily because of all the excitement, they're at least trying. Patrolling around the outside, you will eventually see the great big pond, and you can see that there's sort of multiple layers of this kind of compound area. There's the strongest walls are sort of around the immediate vicinity, and then there is the more extended grounds, kind of off the direction where Barwynn went to commune with the sower, or to cast divination rather. And there's kind of well-tended like shrubberies and the lake and things like that. And that's all very quiet. There's this relatively cloudy night, but you see the moon here and there. Nothing stands out as being irregular. There doesn't appear to be somebody moving furtively or sneakily in and amongst the shadows. Nothing twings your fancy to that end. If you continue your search into the house, you'll likewise see a number of guards sort of moving back and forth down the hallways there on both levels, checking locked doors, things like that.
Any sign of Peaseblossom?
If you're out there for a while, I guess how late you'll just stay up until Peaseblossom returns, I imagine? Is that your plan?
Yeah. I was going to probably go to bed when Avery and Rav got up. But
okay. Yeah, you can do so. You'll just have to sleep a bit late.
Yeah. I was just hoping that Peaseblossom will be back before then. So.
Okay. Yeah, you would suspect, based on the time Peaseblossom left, that if things went very quickly, that he could be back by like an hour after midnight, maybe a little more. And you're pushing towards that time now. And time continues to move. You don't hear Peaseblossom. You don't see any telltale signs. Of course, he might be invisible anyway, so it'll probably be Peaseblossom deciding when you know Peaseblossom is there. At around 2 a.m., you do see something coming towards the castle walls, or the outside walls of the complex. And it's difficult. I mean, you do have dark vision, but you probably wouldn't have seen it if it weren't for the position with regard to the moon, again, slightly silhouetting itself against it. You see the flutter of wings up and down. Definitely not Peaseblossom. Those gossamer wings would practically be invisible at this distance anyway, even if he were visible. It's a bird of some kind. And it gets closer. And it seems to be flying directly towards you. And not in a kind of lazily winging back and forth, not in a circular fashion, in a very straight line. As it draws closer, it actually is going to alight onto the wall parapet sort of area close by to you. You see that it is a rather large raven. But unlike any raven you have ever seen, its plumage is blood red, dark ruby red, with its chest plumage being even a kind of a darker winish purpley color, which you can barely make out by the torchlight of one of the torches at regular intervals here. And the torchlight emphasizes the sort of vibrancy of some of the wingtips with the brighter reds. And its gleaming gold eyes look straight at you with a sharpness to them. Cocks its head at you and then side shuffles a little bit closer. And then shuffles a little bit closer.
I'm wary.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my hand on a dagger.
Yeah. The raven then makes eye contact with you, and you hear a voice. Or you hear a request for a voice to enter your mind, Caliban. For you have an item that allows you to refuse this kind of communication if you wish. Would you like to accept it?
Yeah, it does it. Is there a sort of thing that says, this is Captain James Martin calling?
There's no caller ID. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Or do I just feel a niggle?
Yeah, it's like a tickling sensation almost in the back of your mind.
I'll allow it.
Okay. Hello. I presume you must be Master Caliban.
Can I respond in my brain?
You can.
Verily, 'tis my name.
I do wish that we might be acquainted in person, but I do think this is a rather interesting dimension on which for us to become acquainted, specifically. Unmediated, as it were. Although, I suppose, well, forgive me, I cannot be there directly.
Who are
Your
thou?
message, Master Caliban, forgive me, I did not mean to interrupt. Cues
Who
are
are-
harder this way, you see.
Aye. Who art thou that speaks to me?
We have not met. Your message, however, has been received. My name. I am most commonly known as Master Valentine. This is my friend, whom I have sent on my behalf, much as you sent yours. And a charming fellow, I must add. I regret that Master Peaseblossom was not able to wing his way back to you directly. He will be returned to you shortly. I'm sure that you will see each other soon. Things being as they are hither at this moment, he and I have much to discuss. I can assure you, he is safe, and it will remain so.
You have not hurt my friend, have you?
No, I certainly have not. And I would not dare to do so to an emissary of the Spring Court.
Does my heart glad to hear it?
Good. Now, I have tidings for you of an urgent manner. The content of the message from Lady Vela is an interesting thing to say. The content of the message from Lady Vela is most alarming to powers that be. I would like to help you. There are those here in the city of Halefort who would not wish for my Lord Edmund to achieve the position to which his ambition vaults. And, of course, there is the matter of legitimate succession. You see, there are those here who might be very well convinced that it is impossible for Lady Vela to be who she says she is. Deceased 10 years ago, they will contend. I am not so barred by that sort of prejudice. I believe that the lady is whom she claims to be. Will you come to Halefort?
Quite possibly. This is not a decision I make on my own.
I understand. And I also understand if you do not fully trust the voice in your mind through a raven so red who is alighted on your castle walls in the dead of night, in lieu of your dear friend.
Aye.
Well, if the lady doth assume her rightful place, then it shall be by any aid I can provide. You shall find that that aid may be more substantial than appearances belie. If you do make your way to Halefort by public means or in subterfuge, look for me under the sign of the Red Raven. It is a theater in the city. Most you encounter will know of it. I am not unhumbled to say so.
And what of the steward of Halefort?
Ah, yes, our good Maximilian. It is a fraught time. Maximilian is aged. He has served Halefort for many long years, and has known my lady's family all that time. I believe he can be persuaded. But I am afraid the dragon must be swift. For there are already fangs of another pedigree within our walls, and the longer they remain, the tighter their grip grows.
Is there another way I can contact you?
Besides coming to the Raven?
Aye, if we need to speak to you before then.
I'm afraid no means by which you may initiate for the moment. That will change, of course, when we do meet, if I have not missed my guest. For now, I should be able to contact you.
And when will I see Peaseblossom?
Peaseblossom is a creature of his own will. I should think perhaps before the morning's dawn, or if he should choose here to remain, perhaps at the Raven.
Tell him if you see him that I would prefer if he did come back, because without him, I'm very much a stunted human and cannot say much of any consequence.
Why, Master Caliban, I do believe you do yourself and your person much disservice. You were, I believe, much to be made of before Master Peaseblossom made your acquaintance, and should you discontinue your relationship, would continue to be so.
Thank you, Master Valentine. Mayhap we will see you at the theatre.
I do hope that is the case. I think perhaps there will be a show there to your liking.
Is it?
But you see, one of my years has learned not to predict reactions of their audience truly. But I can hope.
Is it a cunning satire?
I should like to think perhaps it is at the very least true. In the way that only art can be.
Forsooth.
Indeed. So it is.
Well, I hope I see Peaseblossom in the morning. I'm very tired now, you must understand, Signor Raven. And so, I will bid you good night. Is there anything that you would have me say to Vela before I retire? Will she know of you?
Perhaps. Tell her that rising tides do all boats lift.
Pretty sure she already knows that, but thank you. Okay.
My dear Caliban, we
Yeah?
are ever surprised by things we already know every day.
It's
I shall
true.
see you anon. The raven then fluffs its feathers, takes one last look at you, and then wings it, takes off to the sky, flying back in the direction that it came from.
I'm going to take one last look before I go to bed.
Okay, make another perception check, I guess. Like, what a journey. 28. Keen-eyed. With your goggles of night, you do have dark vision out to a certain range at least. Moving about, you see that the motions of guards has calmed down, no longer quite as frantic and manic in its energy, but still regular. There is a heightened alert and a much more coverage than there usually would be at this time of night. Some people have taken to bed, but they are regularly kind of replacing every few hours. It is much as you left it before. Will you retire? Yeah. Okay, Caliban will be permitted after a bit of an investigation to pass through those dungeon doors and can go into the striped hut where the rest are sleeping.
Buckle will not sleep.
All right.
Buckle will patrol the grounds all night if he has to.
Okay. Buckle, you can do that. You will simply have 1 level of exhaustion when dawn breaks. Okay. Which will mean that all of your ability checks are at disadvantage until you have a long rest. Okay. You can do that.
Because of the nap earlier, Buckle.
Yeah,
Power
fine.
nap.
Yeah, he slept already. It's fine.
Yeah. Had a
Once a
solid
day.
45 seconds there. Rav and Avery, you will complete your rest first. You can mark your long rest. And the rest of you will be another 4 hours, Caliban being a bit longer, besides another 2 hours or so after that. While everyone is resting still, does Rav... Well, Rav has to stay within the hut if it's going to stay up, but do both or either of you have anything you wish to do
Rav,
with your waking time?
Rav sits bolt upright and goes, Bradley! Oh, I forgot about Bradley. I did forsake him for my hut.
That's how you have.
And I can't go get him because I'm stuck in a hut.
Would Buckle run into Bradley at some point?
Unlikely. Well, where's Buckle going? What's Buckle doing? Just wandering around?
Wandering around.
Okay. Yeah, much like Caliban before, everything seems very above board. The guards look a mixture of both physically weary but mentally charged. Like all the excitement of what's happened. When like they are sort of buddied up, and you can see that when they think you're not looking and things like that, they will definitely like lean to each other and kind of mutter things to themselves. It's a fraught night. The energy is still high.
Buckle is in a huff. He's stomping around the place.
Yeah, they are giving you a berth if they can help it, keeping to their roots and stuff. But like, ooh, hands off that one. Dawn will break. Caliban will need to sleep a little bit longer, but the rest of you can mark your long rest.
Rav turns to Avery. I mean, in all honesty, he probably said this when they woke up 4 hours ago, but he goes, Avery, I know 'tis a strange request, seeing as thou art mine ex-fiancé and Bradley is mine current lover, but dost thou think thou could go check on him, for it would be a shame to let him be murdered on mine account.
Okay, I'll go check on Bradley.
I thank thee heartily, and I shall repay thee in any way that I can.
I look forward to it.
What's Avery do?
She gags him and ties him to the bed.
Joke's on her, Bradley's into that.
Bradley is definitely terrified of you, Avery. If you have two options. You can either try to physically overpower him or try to intimidate him into letting you do that.
Actually, what I'm going to do is can I take it back what I did?
Okay.
I'm going to use my glamour-studded armor to look like Rav.
Oh dear. Okay, where's this going?
Who knows?
She's gonna break up with him, isn't she?
I did not even think of that. But that's
See, this is why Avery and Rav are perfect for each other. It's the first thing I thought.
Same kind of evil.
Okay. I'm going to walk into the room. Bradley.
Well, he's like in a dead sleep, and he looks tired, like bags under his eyes, like maybe he stayed up late but wasn't really sure what to do. It's like, Ravelor, you all right?
Bradley, you mean nothing to me.
What?
You were just something to do when I was bored, and I have no use for you anymore, and you must leave at once for Halefort.
Hey, Halefort.
You
don't even want me to go home.
If you go to Halefort and find me the forbidden diamond, and you bring it back to me, I shall reconsider. As you should know, I am a man whore, and I like to frequent different people regularly, and I'm done with you, Bradley. So leave now and never return.
Wow. He sits up on the bed, looking at like his shirt and trousers down by the floor, and then looks up at you. I know what this is.
I don't
Say
think
what you wish. Say what you wish. You did open up to me, and now you art afraid.
It was the dawn of truth.
But you will not treat me this way and have me beg to keep you.
good. Yes, exactly.
He begins to pull up his trousers and tie them up. Takes up his shirt, and he is buff. Like putting on his he's got these big working man muscles, like not chiseled, but just like, you know, like farm boy strong. Like he's built like a barrel, and puts that shirt on and looks down at you. One day, Ravelor, you're going to wake up alone and desperate and sad. And if you want to know why, you'll look to a mirror. He grabs his small pack, puts it over his shoulder, doesn't touch you, side straddles past without looking, and walks heavily down the stairs.
Whoa.
At least he's safe.
Yeah.
In a manner of speaking.
I come back down and I tell Ravelor Bradley is safe. You have nothing to worry about.
Oh, I thank thee, Avery, for thou art a very good friend. And I see now I can trust thee greatly, for thou hast carried no ill will. It gives her a hug.
Grudges are for people that can't get over things, and I am.
All right. Now everyone is awake in the hut, and when the 8 hours elapses, that hut is going to disappear. So Caliban is still sleeping and able to be sleeping there, and can probably wake up relatively soon anyway. So we'll say now all of you can click through to have your long rest, except for Buckle. Buckle, you will see that at some point those dungeon doors are going to open, and the whole group can come forward. The guards will sort of stay put near them, and they'll look to catch your eye when you're making your rounds over that way.
I go up to them and I'm like, I saw a beetle, and I was not sure if the beetle was the evil, so I killed the beetle. Here, and I pull it out of my before my magic see if it is evil.
Very well, Captain. Have you slept this night?
No, but I'm fine.
I will not hide here and wait for the next drop of poison, the next blade in the night. Thank you, all of you. You have kept me safe. Were it not for you, I can say with almost absolute certainty, I would be dead. If not here, then in the cave. Caliban?
Oh, a red bird.
A red bird.
Bird.
Well then. With the beetle, this is
Talked.
the bird talked.
Valentine.
You say that in her voice. That's what it sounded like to me just then.
Yeah.
That's where you would have heard it, because she spoke about him. Caliban. Valentine? Do you mean Master Valentine?
Aye. Talk.
You had discourse with him.
Aye. Wall. Bird.
You, the bird on the wall. Master
Red.
Valentine was on the wall.
Red bird. Red bird. Chirp. Talk. In noggin.
I'm
A
good at
bird
this. Let me try. Caliban, how many syllables?
Oh, Ravelo, I think I understand.
I think it's a movie.
No, what does that mean?
Theatre. Halefort. Theatre.
Ah, the
The
theater.
Red Raven.
Aye. Red Raven.
In my sister's letter. From Master Valentine.
Aye.
He
Friend?
seemed to be a friend of my sister. Did he seem to be a friend to you, Caliban?
Little slimy, but friend. Hmm?
Did he invite you? Us?
Aye.
Meeting?
He said fangs tight, but we quick if we want friend action.
Very well. When we spoke of making a grand spectacle, I did think me that a great retinue would accompany us into Halefort in a victorious procession to claim what was rightfully ours. But now, when all numbers could contain one evil, and even a friendly face may the very devil be, perhaps one more dangerous journey we have together to make.
Montage?
Oh.
And Captain, if
Yeah. I'm awake. I'm here.
yes, I believe that the lot of you and I should make our way in our fastest carriage with as small a retinue as we can manage, under cover of secrecy, such secrecy as is possible. And I would like a discourse with this Master Valentine. And then I should like to make myself known at the Golden Keep.
Oh, you go.
Lady Vela, this may not be of importance, but the cavern that Avery and I found, do we have time to investigate it further? Or if we are thinking of not just Edmund, but dragons, perhaps more knowledge of that would be helpful before we leave it. But if it
How
is
long
not
do you
of
need?
import, then we should leave it.
How long do you need, Barwynn?
Let us budget for 15 minutes of your time.
Very well. Then we shall make preparations. I must request your indulgence, Captain. I will need some number of you all by my side at all times. I wish that I could implicitly trust every member of my retinue here.
No, they're all doppelgangers, all of them.
Yeah, any of them, maybe so. So I have been with all of you. So I implore all of you, perhaps we shall all go together to my office. It is where I needed to go anyway, and is where you shall make entrance. We shall make sure none else comes inward from that place, and then we shall make our departure. Okay, they will, all of you can walk towards that space. You know where to go. The wall is still opened. or it can easily be opened if you shut it behind you. What would you like to do, Barwynn?
Elder and Lady Vela, if they're cruised, I think we should go down and see if anything changes if either of you are down there.
You would like our assistance in this?
Yes, for has thou been down there?
I did not know it were there before you did.
Well, then perhaps thou should see it first.
Very well. So you'll guide her down the
she'll step
down
on it
chute?
and say, yeah.
Cool. When she looks down, she speaks a word in a language that none of you understand. But some of you have heard before. At least it's similar. Hard to say. And she will disappear with a oof of surprise. Alda, in Newfoundland form, looks around, seeing the door close behind her, is going to drop that, and then just climb her way down rather awkwardly, using her claws against the side of the stonework. Barwynn, are you going down as well?
Sure thing.
Who else is going down?
I'll go down.
Okay.
I'll go down if Vela's going.
I'll go down. Let's stop.
It's a party.
Yeah.
I'll go down, but only if Buckle brings the beetle.
Seems to be the case. So each of you, when you go over the rung, will see a word written in a different language for each of you. Rav, you'll see it in Elvish. Buckle, you see it in Undercommon. Caliban in Orin. Padraig and Barwynn in Sylvan. And Avery in Elvish as well. It is the word down. And as you say it, like liquid, those rungs of that ladder and stair step will just fall slowly down the wall and leave you there. There is a chamber with strange runes over the doorway and a number, it seems, at least in several different writing systems. And then down at the end, this strange setup of 3 huge gemstones that seem to be welded into the ground.
Canst thou read the markings, Lady Vela, or Elder?
Vela is looking around in a kind of stunned silence. Alda as well. They don't seem to have actually heard you. There goes Alda. And then they look to each other and nod. And Alda says, "Our blood does sing here. Like in the cave." And they both begin to look around. Barwynn, you can show them where you saw this passage written in Sylvan, and there's other words on that wall as well. And they begin to pore over it and look. Something. What is this? Sleep to hear the river's call. In that sleep, what dreams may come. What do you know of these gems? She'll look down and look closely at the gems. Is anyone else looking around at things, taking a close look at stuff?
Yeah.
I see Caliban. Caliban, you can make an investigation check if you like. With advantage if other people are around kind of helping you. And Avery, did you come down as well?
Yeah.
You can make an investigation check, actually. There's so many of you doing this. There's different also places around to look.
$18.
Okay. Is that, 18. Is that a crit for Avery?
We got one tonight. We got one.
Yes. Thanks. Shout out to Matt Day.
Whatever, Matt Day.
Okay. Actually. Yeah. Will do.
Oh,
I am just pulling something up here. Okay. Now, everyone's poring over all of these details, and you can hear Vela muttering under her breath in a strange tone that you've never heard before. Low, but melodic. Her normally relatively high alto voice almost dropping into a baritone to speak it. Avery, you're watching her do that, trying to maybe track her eyes and see what she's looking at. And it just occurs to you to glance down at these gems, which Caliban is no doubt, I would imagine, having a good look at, being the Caliban that he is. And Caliban seems to be very clearly admiring the sort of facets of these pieces, and Caliban could probably tell that they do have the lookings of like a ruby and a great big sapphire, and one, you're almost positive, the gold one, is actually a diamond. It would be extremely rare and extremely strange, a kind of yellow diamond, but they're not unheard of, and you've maybe stolen a few in your time or heard about them. Much smaller, obviously. But Avery, as Caliban moves over, you actually see something in the facets of one of these jewels that is not a piece of a jewel. It's a word. It's not in a language that you can understand, but it is very clearly script, almost like the runes that are on the walls in front of you and on the door in front of you.
I'm going to bring Vela over and show her.
When you point out the place that you're pointing, on that gold diamond, one that Caliban was looking at, Vela cocks her head to the side and then says a monosyllable in a different language. There is a humming sound, a single clear note. And as it fades, that diamond detaches itself lightly from the ground and rises up to about 3.5, 4 feet in the air and is hovering there still. And Vela is staring at it. I believe I can... Yes? And then she sort of like moves her hands and the diamond, the great diamond, moves. I can move it. Where should I put it?
To the door.
Here, this door.
Mm-hmm.
Right, well, it's just that there were two I saw when I came in. I wasn't sure. They both have... Right. And she pushes it forward, and it fits perfectly in that groove. And as it does, that humming sound hits again, and all of the runes that are written in the language she was reading gleam gold for a moment, flashing as it affixes itself. Caliban.
Yeah.
You're still looking at the other ones there, I would say. And you would then notice, no doubt, primed by this with that high roll, that there is likewise a script written on one of these that I don't believe you're able to read, but it's definitely there. And you can make out, likewise, a script on the other one as well. And it's hard to see, but it's almost like a whisper on one of the reflective surfaces in each of these. And you can see it's iterated on a number of the different facets as well.
Yeah. I'll just like point towards it. Aldorol.
Okay. Alda has a look but doesn't really know what to make of the one that she's looking at, although she did manage to see the one on that golden one that Vela picked up.
Look as well. See if she can.
Barwynn, you will be able to make out in Sylvan, written on one of these gems, a single word. Up.
Up.
And you feel as though you have puppet strings attached to it from your fingertips. It will follow your will.
She walks it to the other door. Puts it in.
Okay.
Quick, the others, read the last stone.
You can do so. Just give me just a second. The rest of you are looking. Actually, I misspoke. Caliban, the remaining stone, which is red. You actually are able to, for a moment, make something out. And it wouldn't have registered at first, because you speak Orin. And Orin is a kind of dialect of the primordial speech. There is one for each of the main elements. And, for the various, like, fire and water and et cetera, Terran for earth. Which is why it might escape your notice for a second. But it is in Orin. It appears to say, up.
Have I heard anyone say that, though, in Orin? That's the question.
This is a good question.
Actually, we've heard someone haggling and complaining that the price has gone up.
Or saying, what's up?
Ryan's question is a good one, because the fact that Kenku can speak this or know this, understand this language is different from being able to speak it. You still need to hear from someone who can speak it. I'm going to say, in this case, Caliban, you will have heard this at least once in your life. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, you will live down here forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And as Caliban does so, do you affix that gemstone in the last opening?
Sure do.
All right. As you do,
gas starts entering
all of the runes around that entryway gleam bright, and then the door opens. And in front of you, there is a large cavern. And the sound of running water fills your ears as the rock around you is totally different from the rock where you just were. It is dark and black and highly reflective, and in many different sort of crags and crystalline structures and large sort of bouldery projections from the wall. It gleams and glitters in the faint light coming from the chamber where you were, and the sound of water is very clear and audible. This area is a little bit cooler than you just were as well, more humid, damp.
Do you recognize it? Is it the place where you found Vela, or is it somewhere else?
It is an underground river. If you come out and look closer, those of you with dark vision can especially see. You do recall that there was that chamber below the Golden Cave where a river seemed to run into this sort of great pool. A very cold water sort of hitting that water and then rising up in those twisting snakes to the much warmer water of the Golden Cave above. It is very reminiscent of at least the opening to that. It would, definitely familiar.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Should someone maybe drink it? Taste it?
Padraig steps up.
Padraig's the one.
Padraig drinks some water.
You gonna take a drink from the river?
Yeah. He's done it before, and what could go wrong?
What indeed? What indeed? Padraig, you take a sip from this water. It is cold. It is extremely cold. It almost hurts your mouth. The rest of you will see Padraig fall to the ground. You come closer and have a look in the darkness. Those of you with dark vision, Barwynn, I think you could readily make out Padraig is in a deep sleep.
Oh, I see. Do we all do it?
Wait for me! Dives in.
So Padraig's just by the water's edge. Is Rav going to jump in?
Don't jump in, you'll drown.
Fine, Rav doesn't jump in.
It's Rav's choice.
I mean,
You guys are always
jump
not
in.
letting Rav
Barwyn's
die.
gonna drink a bit as well.
You can jump in, but just don't drink it.
Rav,
I'm gonna prop Padraig up somewhere to make sure that he's not gonna fall over, but then she's gonna sit down next to him and then drink a bit.
You did say that it did say we would hear the voice or something when we were sleeping or something like that. So let's all have a drinky drink. I'm gonna have a drinky
Okay,
drink.
let's.
Rav has a drink and he lays down in Barwynn and Padraig's lap.
Okay. Avery, you taking a drink as well?
Yeah.
Buckle? I can't
yeah.
hear you, Pedro.
Buckle has not moved and will not move from his position.
Buckle can't kind of buy asleep at the moment.
Yeah.
You see your friends, one after the other, take a drink from this water and drop to the ground, or drop from where they were kneeling into a deep slumber. Vela and Bertram are staring confusedly as this transpires, looking
Tell
down at
them.
Alda.
I tell Vela and Bertram, we nap sometimes. This is normal. I had mine yesterday.
Now, those of you who just drank, everything is dark. Everything fades.
It's so great if that like we were just dead.
Yeah.
The end.
Buckle
Season
wins.
finale.
Pedro wins Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
You do
The
it.
most points.
Build your constitution to 20. Get the best armor.
Yeah.
Take no damage.
He's gonna drop dead from exhaustion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. It is utter blackness. And then the first sensation you have is bitter cold. The coldest temperature any of you have ever felt in your entire lives. The first sight you see, whiteness all around. No break in its contours, pure white. A faint ringing in your ears, as though your senses are returning to themselves and recoiling from their loss. It is so cold it burns. Your skin, sensation of your skin, already numbing. Well then, this is certainly not what I expected. But I suppose it will be of interest. The whiteness begins to attain contrast. Faint grays and off-whites begin to appear where shadows might. You are beneath a gray, perfectly pastel uniform sky, so dense with clouds that it almost looks like an open sky again. Faint snowflakes are wisping through the air, but not falling, just being blown by a wind. There is a large granite chair in front of you, swept by snow. The kind of snow that falls in high, high altitudes. Not fluffy, graceful, hard. The wind blows and rustles it, and almost with that breath of wind, a figure in that chair appears. I wondered if ever I would meet you. I did not think it would be so soon. welcome. He puts out a hand, and a great, muscling, bristling, gleaming snow leopard, which you could have sworn was not there before, is suddenly nuzzling its head up against his hand. Adds silently to his side and looks out at you. Cold, crystal clear blue eyes. You have become ensconced in a web much larger than you understand. You do not know who I am, I think. Your friend was not much of an evangelist. He pats the leopard in front of him absently.
Been in the waiting room this whole time?
I am known by many names, but you may call me the Lord of Frost. And then he looks at you, Padraig. And then at you, Caliban. I see you bear my kin's marks. And then his eyes glance on you, Barwynn. Do you understand what is coming? No.
No. No.
No, I think not. You have some understanding that Moonfang approaches.
I understand that.
Yes. But you are not prepared.
I'll believe it when I see it, mister.
It will have little regard for your belief when it comes.
Taking in my boots.
This is like a mobster.
Not yet, Avery. But you can. And then the cold you feel outside, Avery, you feel within. It is as though every liquid inside of you has stopped. To those of you around, Avery is still, utterly still, unblinking, unmoving, not twitching, only the wind lightly pushing her hair around.
When I talk?
Nope.
What hast thou done to Avery?
Peace, Ravelor.
Draws his bow.
Oh shit.
I was just trying to see how late Adam will let this session go.
Ravelor, you are unable to move.
Yeah.
Your body stills. You are cold.
Caliban tries to do a backflip.
Caliban, you are still in midair.
That's what I just wanted to see if that was what would happen.
You attempt to do a backflip.
Yeah. Okay.
That happens.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay. This is very important. Like, you know, I've only got a few minutes left of playing D&D this year. Oh.
So close.
Was that for the backflip?
Do a backflip?
You do a backflip. It's not graceful, but you land it.
Yeah, cool.
He disregards that.
I'm going to try and do a front flip.
Caliban.
Caliban can doing whatever he's doing without rolling. Well, you can roll. That's fine.
Yay!
You do a front flip. The snow leopard looks up at Lord of Frost. Lord of Frost chuckles. You have not been extended your invitations just yet. Titania will attempt to bring you into the Twilight Realm.
That safe?
It is most certainly not. Have you been safe as of late?
How are we to know that this is safe?
Mr. Dangerfield, if you wish to be safe, die.
Are they recommending that we do such a thing to go to the Twilight Realm and accept her invitation? Or are you warning us against such a thing?
If you leave, you will enter a different board to play a different game. And your pieces will no longer be in Halefort, where some might say they are greatly needed. This is Titania's aim. And then he looks at you, Padraig.
Oh no, Padraig turns away somewhere else.
Well, you are your own, and no doubt, wheresoever you go, you could be of some use. But you should go with the cold light of understanding, and not the heat of passion that my lady can so inspire. There are those in the Twilight who wish Moonfang to succeed in his designs. There are those of Dragonkin who do not. There are those in the Twilight who do not, and Dragonkin who do. Lines are not drawn with rigidity as such. If you do not wish for Moonfang to assert his place as the terror of the New North, then you have a choice. Play your own moves upon the board you tread. Be not played by higher hands. Master Oberon, I believe, has been less than forthright with you, and Queen Titania with you. Moonfang comes. If you wish to confront him, fools and brave, well, you know where he will be. It is not in the Twilight Realm. That is not to say there are not means of accessing him through it, but the way is clouded. The path easy to lose. You may gain great advantage if you enter the Twilight world. Power you can not even dream of. Power only something greater than gods once could dream. But it is fraught with peril, and you, like many before you, can lose yourselves if you take it. If you remain behind, then the war will find you, and you must do what you can to gird yourself for it. The rise of tides brings the gold dragon from the deep. You can protect this rise if you wish. The choice will be yours. I hope you make it well. You can take the hand offered you on the terms it is offered, or you may cast your bark on the Silver Spring and make the voyage yourself. Or, of course, you may remain steadfast and prepare yourself for the storm.
Meanwhile, outside, it's just a very long, uncomfortable silence between Buckle and Vela and Bertram. And Buckle's like, so, when's Myra getting here?
We'll cut back in that awkward silence to all of you standing before the Lord of Frost. Your time here ends soon. Do you have a question for me?
How
Is Myra getting here?
how do we defeat a dragon such as this?
Moonfang's power is great, and it will grow greater still. When one that was lost returns, look to the night sky. The moons will tell.
The moons will tell.
The moon that was lost shall return and dance its final dance in the sky.
Wow.
Its power shall grow Moonfang greatly. When it comes, he shall be ready to make himself known. But make no mistake, his claws are already moving. His reach far.
Is there a way to stop the moon from dancing? Like, turn off the music? You know, put it in like, they need to fill out a form to start a dance, and if they don't fill out the form, then they're not allowed to dance. Maybe we could do like I saw this play. It was called My Foots Be Loose, and in it, no one was allowed to dance, not even moons.
Master Caliban, you do not know it, perchance. But that is exactly the sort of question that gets you far in the Twilight world. If you wish to stop the moon from dancing, why then you must go to where the moons ever dance. The choice is not simple. Both offer advantages. Both great peril. But you will have to make this choice. I wonder which it is.
Insane.
The wind blows again, and the shadows begin to brighten, off-white and gray to shining white, until they blot out to darkness and cold, and all of you regain consciousness on the floor next to that river. Buckle, to you, it has only been an awkward few seconds, and you have just said, where is Myra? And Vela looks about to answer, and then notices everyone has awoken. Good heavens, what has transpired here? Why would you drink this?
Bertram,
Yes.
have you a water skin?
So I have. It hath some left over in it. What
May
make
I
you of
keep
this?
it?
I can find another before we go, of course. Here, and he gives it to you.
I take it, I empty out his water, and then I fill it with the water from the river. And then it looks different to my one, doesn't it?
The water?
The water.
Yes, it does.
Okay, good.
You can tell them apart.
Lady Vela, we have communed with the Lord of the Frost.
He told us that rising sea levels are to blame for the dragon coming to attack, so we need to act
Rising-
now. We need to act now. Slow down. the
I
water
think we can
and-
ignore it for at least 30 years. I'm sure it'll work out for the best.
Rising sea levels.
Aye. As the sea rises, so do the ships, and then the dragon comes.
I'm sorry, what? The sea rises, so do the ships.
The rise of tides.
Is that exactly what he said?
More or less.
Uh, um... I can't believe it.
Another one. Another denier.
No, you don't understand. I believe it. I just can't believe that it is now. It's the rising tide. Sarah. One of the first elements.
Another dragon.
Caliban, you nod. By your face, Caliban, some recognition I see.
Oh no.
No. The first dragons of Aeon that I had a strange dream. And if Moonfang comes with the great force of the might of dragons, then it is by that same might that we must meet him.
Caliban puts his hand in the middle. Hey? Yeah.
Is that happening? Is the group doing that?
Rav puts his hand in and holds Caliban's hand.
Put my hand in.
Bela will
Buckles
do so
asleep
as
on
well.
the floor.
Alan picks his hand up and
Weekend at Buckles over here.
Yeah.
Headless Marys, and then we all
So then, Headless Marys, do I take it from that you have decided to remain at Vela's side right from here? It's up
We
to
love
you.
a side quest, you know.
When the opportunity arises, what is your intent?
If we do this side quest, does any time pass in the real world?
What side quest are you referring to?
If we go into the void again.
honestly, I think it is actually a case of diverting paths.
You're at a fork in the road.
Yeah.
You've been told you have the option when the choice is given you. You can enter the Fey realm.
Yeah.
And that there may be avenues there for you to confront the powers that are helping Moonfang rise. Or you can stay here in Aorn and Halefort, or wherever it takes you to prepare
And Anna
here.
would just like to know, so his preparation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
So we'll find out next year.
You could.
Personally, I would like to see stay by Vela's side, but also, you know,
The draw of
yeah.
is
But
pretty
also,
strong.
like, he's probably gonna die if we don't.
Stay with her, yeah. The war's coming. I think we need to stay now.
Let's deal with the place that we know rather than the Fey realm.
Really?
I'm so scared of the Fey realm.
I know, it's so exciting. That's right. You'll want to.
Well then.
You'll stay with
You
Fela.
can come back anytime. This river's going to be here.
I've got a water
Choices are
skin.
made and remade, after all.
Rav will go to the Fey realm. Barwynn, let's have a side
I
quest.
just split the party for the whole next campaign. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, this is a place, a moment of consequence. The majority of the party, it seems, wishes to stay by Vela's side to keep her safe, to help her finish her quest to become the lawful Thane of Donvale, just within her grasp, it seems. But there are those among you curious, perhaps terrified, but curious to see what the Twilight Realm has to offer. And who knows, in fact, what the coming days and weeks and months of Peaseblossom and of Aeorn's broader calendar have to offer you. Many choices, many such forks. And as you said, the Silver Spring is always there. And the offer is always yet to come. So that seems like a good place for us to leave off. We have gone over time by half an hour. My apologies, sleepy players, and thank you to any of you who are sticking with us this long. The Headless Marys.
Calaman does a backflip.
The Headless Marys have spoken to the Lord of Frost, to King Oberon of the Spring Court, and to Queen Titania of the Autumn Court. A little more graceful than last time, but still not perfect. When we return next year, 2022, you will find out whether that journey keeps them by Halefort's side, building power, looking southward to this rising tide, or whether it takes them perhaps to the Twilight Realm one day of the Feywild. In any
You just
case,
hear everyone clicking.
we should finish, as always, by thanking some wonderful people that we always do, including our good friend Matt Day, our technomancer in residence, who created Rollcast, which is allowing the players to create this utter chaos.
Imagine stepping on all those D4s. Like, imagine.
It would genuinely kill you. That's worse than We should thank Eric Matias, whose music you can hear on the stream and in recording. Thank you to all of you who have been watching the Headless Marys all along. 500.
Not
You added
500.
Cheating. Who have been watching all along, and you're watching us on our channel. Thank you for that. Please, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Reach out to someone who you think might fall in the middle of this Venn diagram of nerdiness, and recommend us to them. Follow us as well on Twitter and TikTok at Bardic_inspo. And do keep a lookout. We have some big announcements coming in the near future that we want to keep up to date with. And catch us next week with the Magical Cane Band, who will have their last session far away and a few weeks in the past in the Moonwood, where they have just slain a demon. I'm just putting it out there. That just happened. Go have a look. And we will close, as always, by echoing the bard and saying to all of you, thanks,
Thanks,
and
and more thanks.
More thanks.
Bye.